Yeah. Okay. A little click, 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 click. Uh-huh. Okay, so welcome everyone. Great to see you all here as we start out, on this wonderful journey. Um, so it's a journey that may last you for several years. So for quite a few years. In fact, it may just be kind of a lifetime journey. Which, this obviously was for me and for John and for so many of our students that, this is the beginning of something. It's the beginning of a wonderful step into maybe what you might call a new life, a slightly different life, one that's more, has a larger experience of reality. So So anyway, some basic things before we get into it. So because we're on Zoom and because we get talking, and it's nice if we get into a flow, especially, doing PowerPoints and things like this, to not get, verbally interrupted, that you're all muted or should be muted the as we come into the room. And And so if you have a question, we would have you put it in the chat. It doesn't have to be a question. It can be a comment. It can be a hello, whatever you like. You can just put, the chat is open and you can add to it in whatever way you like. But we monitor the chat, and then questions that are in the chat, at the appropriate time, we bring those up and answer them. We also have Q&A time when it's sort of open mic. And you're free to ask questions. So we have that going on. But just anytime something comes up, or there's also like a private message if something, any kind of technical thing or something that you need to just let us know, like you have to leave early or whatever, you can tell the whole class that. Um, and also that you come in and the Zoom is automatically putting on your camera, but if you, for any reason, don't want to have your camera on, you're also welcome to not have your camera on. So there's no rule about having to have your camera on. So you want to make sure you know that. Also, all of these sessions are recorded and they will be made available to you. They are on YouTube, but they are on YouTube privately. So you don't have to worry about, any kind of anyone else getting a hold of these recordings. They are specifically for this class. They are recorded and sent out to you after each class. John gets them out as a rough cut right away. And so by the end of our day, so for those who are more West Coast and you've got all day to review things, or if you miss a day, you have lots of time to catch it up. And for those who are in the other part of the world, then you have the next day to catch up before the class starts later in the day. So, so that is there. That's an important tool for people to be able to use if they are not available for some part of the class or for the class, that it's catch upable, especially seminar one. It's a little more challenging to, in some of the other classes, really depends on the day. But that's out there for that reason. And then you will be getting the wonderful version with all the timestamps that John does and sends out after the whole seminar is over. And so we do that. We will probably be also sending out links to a PDF of the PowerPoint so that you can have copies of the PowerPoint, and that that will happen maybe tonight. I'll get that sent out and made available. Other seminars, we can send that out before the seminar begins. Some people like to print them out. They're huge, so I don't know about doing that, or 4 pages together and then both sides or something. anyway, they're pretty big PowerPoints, but you can have those available also. And at the end of this seminar, you will have the whole homework exam for seminar 1A and B, but you know, you can just get into it for the first part just between the two seminars, so you can kind of keep up with those things. I think that's most of the.
Yeah. Can I just add one
Sure,
caveat to
sure,
the
yeah.
video? Like Wendy said, if you feel uncomfortable and you want the video up, but there will be a couple times, there's some times that we'll ask that you have your video on, because it's for learning purposes. That will be like when we're doing exercise and you're learning, we like to kind of help support you. And we're going to be learning how to do energy healing treatments, and that will be important to kind of see how you're doing to make sure that we say left, you're not going right kind of thing. And just to kind of support you. So there'll be a few times we might ask for that.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah. Now, when we are very first beginning the exercises, first time through, we're not going to be looking. You're just really catching
Right, exactly.
the movements. And so, if you're embarrassed to like be learning this, you don't have to have it on like first round through. That's really for later on. And especially during treatments, we're going to want to be able to just make sure that you know that it looks like you've caught on to what we're doing. So we're going to be talking more about that. And let's see what else might be important. So if you need to step out to use the restroom, you know, you can do that. Um, yes, we'd like your video on as much as possible. That coming up in the chat. So yes, we like your video on. We like to see those faces out there. So if you're okay with it, we're happy to have it. So yeah. Yeah, and then for breaks, there's a break at somewhere around the 2 hour mark, which is 11 o'clock here, but it could be, you know, 10 minutes before, it could be 15 minutes after. But we also have lectures. So lecture is like a time when you can like kick back and have a little tea and popcorn kind of a thing, or dinner if you're in that part of the world. So, you know, when the lecture is going on, it's not like you've got to be there and you can't have anything in you can't be eating. You're totally fine to be eating or snacking during
One of the
lecture.
advantages of Zoom.
Exactly. One of the advantages of Zoom for sure.
We're at home.
Yes. And arriving punctually is awesome because then you're going to get the whole series, the Qigong series, because not today, but on the other days, we do start off pretty punctually. We get into it with the Qigong series. So try and be here as early as you can so that you get the full advantage of that. So we're excited to see everybody here. Um, it's not a huge class, but we have some people who will be joining later. Um, and we are still open for enrollment because of all the seminars that we teach, seminar 1 is the one that is most friendly to catch up on through video because it doesn't involve as much in the way of treatments. Um, so, so we'll have um, that available. Okay. And anything else that we need to say, John?
No, I think that's all for pretty good for now.
Pretty good. Good, good. Get this started off. Okay. So I know, you know, quite a few of you were at the our intro series, but I'm going to go over through that little PowerPoint just because I want to get it clear in everybody's mind because we do the whole thing and then we get a lot of confusion and then people are still kind of asking about it and we really want you to be clear on the whole thing. So here we go. I'm going to bring that up. And you probably hear things you didn't hear the last time. So go. Okay, about the training. So, 4 seminars. Now, so we have seminars. So this is all coming from the syllabus that you saw. So the syllabus based on the International Institute of Medical Qigong, which is kind of the syllabus for teaching for what this is. It sort of is the whole accepted program. And and it has 4 seminars, but we divide the seminars because we're doing them on Zoom, and nobody wants to spend all day on Zoom, and especially if you're in different parts of the world, half days is the way to go. So the seminars are 10 days, and that's because they're divided in two, part A and part B, 5 days, P1A, P1B. So it's, some people thought, oh, you could take it either day. No, that is one seminar, A and B. And they are all Wednesday through Sunday. In this part of the world, Australia gets a little complex, but nobody from Australia this year. Some years we have Australians. Workshop hours are 9 to 1 Pacific time each day, and that break is around 11, as I said. And the program is completed in June with a 3-day online clinic for the general public, which is also on Zoom. So the 3-day clinic is a part of this. The 3-day clinic is where the rubber meets the road. It's where people say, like, oh my goodness, now I feel like I can go out and really offer this to people. Now I have the experience that I needed. And I think some of you have been in those clinics and experienced them. And, those clinics are pretty amazing, just really, really wonderful, really powerful for people. And we call it the Healing Wave Clinic because it sends a wave of healing out into the world. And last year, I think we gave out 94 free sessions, and they were hour-and-a-half sessions, and they each had 2 people working on the patient. So people who are in the practitioner are always paired with someone who's in the therapist or masters, and often graduates, people who have been doing this work for many years. And so it's this incredible learning experience to go from the practitioner level and be partnered with someone. And we have a way of working. We have like the WhatsApp, and the 2 practitioners are muted on Zoom, but they're talking to each other via WhatsApp, and they're talking to their person on the Zoom. So they get to talk back and forth in the background. Anyway, we have the whole thing worked out, and the sessions are super powerful and amazing and change people's lives. So you get to be a part of that. Okay, and of course they're recorded. The schedule, September, November, we keep you going. We're not having any big gaps in here. September, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, and June. So we love this. You see, back when we did it the other way, it would be like September, December, and maybe February, May, and June. So we have this continuum that we really like. Is much more flow for people learning this. And we have you connected through the WhatsApp groups, and that's a really fun way to do the homework. So we encourage homework to be done as groups, get together with people and discuss it, and to really make this a wonderful cohort working together. Oh, the last one. So the clinic is half days. I mean, it's full days, but for people in Europe, you will need to give your partner a little write-up about your experience. And so you may have time like right after because there's 2 sessions, first session, and then before you go to bed, you need to send that off to your partner, who will share that later in the afternoon. And then you will receive the recordings of the shares. So you'll be able to be a part of that share, but you'll have to catch up on it through the Zoom. We also have a potential, if there's enough people interested in having a live share with the Euro Israel Africa folks, that part of the world. Um, if that is, it's another thing that we can offer. So anyway, we take care of that with clinic. And you can also invite people to the clinic. So people that you know are able to participate in that. So seminar 1, which you are in, you're going to be learning the Taoist 5 Qigong, our healing workout. We have some basic breath training. It's actually really powerful breath training, not that basic. Emotional detoxification practices, healing sounds, therapy, and treatment. And you're going to be giving a treatment back and forth at the last in seminar B. So we get to that, as well as the microcosmic orbit practice, grounding, meditations, exercises. Lots of meditations going to be happening during this, going through the body, becoming more conscious in your body, all sorts of things, establishing a personal medical Qigong workout by the end of this class, and a whole lot more. So that just, we get into the 5 elements in a really deep way. We're going to be really immersing in a lot of things that aren't on this list. It's a big list. Every day there's a big list. There's history, there's the metaphysics, and this is what we get into this seminar. So Introduction to Diagnosis and Treatment, Seminar 2, Developing Energetic Sensitivity and Perception Skills. Yes, we want to get into a different way of seeing, into a different level of perception, not just with our 5 senses. So we're going beyond the 5 senses here. It's one of what we need to do. To do this kind of work, it's beyond the 5 senses. So we're slowly working into that. Energy projection skills, meeting the healing masters, the beings who support this work. So in the classes, okay, well, they just all came forward. So there are a lot of beings who support this class because this is coming from the great lineages of China. It goes back to the Wu, goes back to very ancient times. And there are beings connected with this that are very high beings that really support this work in the world, that support you in the world. They are, there's beings of light here because it's all connected with levels of healing and deep healing, and the healing that's not separated out between physical, energetic, and spiritual. Like it's a wholeness kind of a healing. And I can feel these beings very much coming up to say hello to you. So maybe you can feel this. Just take a breath right now and close your eyes, and they're saying hello to you right now. So you may feel just kind of a wonderful, loving presence with you. It's a very, very high energy coming to you to basically to let you know that they're there and that they are there for you. They're for you as you step into this work. And that we're going to do, okay, so they say, okay, we're going to come back in the meditation. So we're going to do a meditation and they'll be back to say more then. That was usually just step in right there, but they did. And we used to have an altar always in the class that we set up, and you could go and you could really, it was very, very palpable to stand in their presence at that altar, to be in the presence of these great beings. Anyway, so this work has been dropped in the East in many ways. It's coming back now under different names, but the big hospitals that they had there, those have never come back, never been allowed because of the whole thing that happened with Qigong not being allowed in China. And so, we're in the West, and we are kind of holding this whole lineage to go out in the world in many ways, in this open way. And so it's really important, this work and this work, the dissemination of this work in the world. Okay, so back to seminar two. So we actually spent some time meeting them in seminar two. And so that's a very lovely thing we do there. General treatment protocol, and we use distance therapy, and that's amazing. And you will be sent, after seminar one is over, you will be sent a inflatable surrogate that you will be able to use on a massage table to be able to learn this work. And so you just a nice little inflatable. It's not anatomically correct or anything. It's just your basic arms, legs, body, but it's life size. And so it's super handy to be able to have this and use this. And to be able to learn this. And then you work on each other with distance therapy, which we actually step into in seminar one, and you get to feel the effectiveness of what's happening at a distance. Just like you can feel like those beings coming in. It's very powerful. Oh, and I hope you didn't hear dogs barking in the background, but I got that. So, okay, so and then one of the things that people have to don't have to accept, but you will just like, it's usually about the mind being able to accept the fact that the distance therapy works really well. Just it does. So magic gloves treatment. This is you have your protocol, which is very like mental step, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you learn that, and your mind is very happy. It's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go in and do this. And then we have magic gloves where you don't know what you're doing, but you let the divine take over, you let spirit take over, and let the treatment continue that way. And interestingly, when people receive the treatment, it's not always, but very often the magic gloves part of the treatment that is the most powerful. They're like, that's when people go, wow, then all these things happen during magic gloves. The magic glove treatment is interesting because it's something that that was great. There was a second set of books. The current set that we have came out, I don't know when that was, 2000 and I don't know, 16, John, or something. I don't know.
I was going to say about 9 or 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 15, 16, somewhere in there. Anyway, and I was in there reading the new books. I was like, oh my goodness, magic gloves. I love this. It has a picture, it has a thing that you say. And then I go back and like, I need to make the handout for this. It was probably a couple years later. And it was like, wait a second, I can't find this in the books. And I was so perplexed because I knew the page it was on, but I just, couldn't find it. And all of a sudden there's, everything's shifted. So I called up Dr. Johnson and asked him, where it was. And he didn't even know anything about magic gloves treatment. So he just said, better keep teaching that because apparently that was for you. And so this is one of the things that we work with me. We work with magic gloves. I made there's a handout with as much as I can recall of what used to be on that page, or that it was 2 pages. I can still see the pages. So these things happen. Understanding the emotional causes of illness, we go more deeply into that. Tons of fantastic meditations. And to understand the relationship of body, energy, emotions, mind, and spirit. And we really go, these meditations really are very profound because we're really working to get into a state of an openness where you can leave the personality self behind in order to do the healing. So you really step into yourself in a different way. And then we do magic circles as part of intuitive development, where you are learning to read the other person's energy at the physical, the mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. And everybody does it. It's not difficult. We're the modality, you don't have to see things, you don't have to hear things. It's about experiencing. So the nice thing about this is that it's body. It can be, I'm kinesthetic. So I had to learn how to do all this stuff because nobody was teaching how to do it kinesthetically, at least not when I needed to know this 20 years ago. So I had to figure out the kinesthetics of it all. And so I teach you. So even if you don't hear, see or hear anything, you'll still have a wonderful doorway into being an intuitive. Okay. Seminar 3, our clinical foundations, is the toolbox seminar. We get into our realms of Taoist mysticism, which is the earth, heaven, earth, and man are our 3 realms. We learn how to make magical energy balls. We gather plant essences from nature where we don't kill any plants. We're just working at that energetic level. Create personal talismans where we learn to clear an object and then imbue it with an energy for the sake of healing for yourself, for others. Materialize and dematerialize energy. And so that is very important with the healing practices. Beginning a healing practice, Qi healing methods, including invisible needle, energetic point therapy, thunder palms, flying dragon, all sorts of healing postures. Those are postures and methods, sort of like the energy balls. Qi self-massage, which is an awesome practice to heal yourself. Color therapy, all the stuff on color, very, very important. And just and a little stepping into clinical practice. Seminar 4, Introduction to Disease Treatment Protocols, Energetic Prescriptions. So organ diseases and specific conditions. So you get a lot of our treatment protocols for all different diseases, and we have lots of them. And ones that we don't have, maybe from the old books, we like to pull those out and to share those too. And just, ideas of how you can learn because there's all sorts of things. Once you get used to those, you learn how to add and take away from these protocols to really tailor them to what it is that you need to do to work with a person. So we do animal treatments, which are super fun because animals are like the best. And if you have an animal, they're the best. And so working on animals is like animal love times 10 or something. So it is lovely. We do some healing sound therapy and putting sounds into bodies, working with the experience of death and dying, how to work with very specific ways with death and dying, and then how to work in our clinics. And then we have our exam and practical exam, all of which are, no one fails these things if they try them. We're there to support you. Yeah, it's good. You're all prepared for all of this. So that's good. So this is all good on Zoom. You get the inflatable life-size body. The massage table is nice, but not necessary until around P3B when you need to have a live volunteer to work on, in which case you may even borrow a table. Although we encourage you to work on live people as much as you can. Because other people are like, it's so easy just working at a distance. And it's so powerful. And you don't have to think about all the things you have to think about when there's a live person on the table. But we really encourage you to go with some live people. You'll be exchanging with partners at a distance. And it used to be that we did the distance therapy was the surprise thing because all the classes were in person. So you were always doing it, working on a person. And then in seminar 3, after seminar 3, between 3 and 4, we connected with different groups who were people or with students who who had already graduated from practitioner, but we had other people with students who we could exchange with so that they could experience distance therapy. And you wouldn't know anything about the other person. You'd just have their name and their email address, and that was it. And you'd be exchanging. And their students were always blown away with what they knew. It's like all the stuff that they read about the person and knew about the person. And they're kind of like, oh my God, it really works. Oh my God, this distance stuff is great. And now it's sort of the other way around. It's like, oh, I can do this live, because at that point, everyone's really very good at it. Okay. Textbooks are available, and you have great handouts, but we really would like you to get the textbooks. They are, I think shipping to Canada right now is almost as much as Europe. I think Europe is like $10 more. It's pretty crazy. And all of Canada is the same. Doesn't matter where it is anyway. But the books are available, and when you order them, I will get them out to you ASAP. So it's really good to have the books. And otherwise, you can order them, the digital ones, online. So you have those options. Digitals are great too. They're more searchable. But yes, so anyway, there's that. So yeah, we consider like 1 hour a day would be great for exercises and meditations. And we really consider there to be about 4 hours of work on the exams for each seminar. So a couple of hours for part one, a couple of hours for part B. Some of them are just talking about your experience of a meditation. So that'd be part of also exercise and meditations. Yeah, so the homework is great. People really actually like it and are happy that we keep it going, like between classes, like there's this thing to do. The end of the fourth seminar, again, that exam, you'll be prepared. And the only ones who didn't pass are the ones who didn't take it. I can't take it. I'm too scared. It's like, take it. It'll be fine. So it is. And so certification levels, people get confused. Practitioner certification is all you need to know. You just take your courses, do the clinic, do your homework and the final exams, and you get it. If you do the channeling one course, then you get the shamanic one. If you want to get the IIQSCM one, then you just need to do another 48 hours of your own clinical externship. You're going to be receiving the papers for that. We give those out in seminar 2, all the where you write down the, keep track of your hours and also how to do your clinical write-ups. And of course, that's the same with the adding the channeling one for the shamanic Chinese medicine. And then practitioner training, therapist training, master's training, doctoral training, which is sort of an unknown at this time, happened a few years ago, but you need to have quite a few people who really want this for us to put on. It's a lot to do. So, yeah. And then that's in person, and there's just a lot around that. And masters, I mean, to be a master of something, what John and I really strive for is by the end of this that you are a Qigong master healer. And we're pretty happy with the term Qigong master healer. So, okay. So the shamanic requirements are channeling 1, the therapist, mediumship channeling 2, masters, all the channeling series, plus the light body meditation. So the light body meditation is fantastic. It really takes things, again, to another level. You can do this anytime. If you want to add this form of meditation, I have it starting in November. So highly recommend the Awakening Your Light Body meditation series. depending on how much time you have. Benefits, okay, yes, it is wonderful. And I think that you all are on board with the rest of this. Yeah, the community healers, you're going to get to be a real community. It's wonderful the friendships that develop through this class. And you've already gone through the tuition with John. That's why you're here. So I think we covered all of that. So let me end the share. Okay. And again, so chat, do we have some questions?
One person was wondering about introductions,
We're
and
going to get to that.
we're
Yes.
going to get that. I told them very soon.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I love to have so video on as much as you can. And if there's no other questions, anything you'd like to add, John? Or we're just going to jump into.
No, I want to meet people.
Oh, that's right. We're meeting people first. You're right.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice that we could do the Qigong here. What do you think?
What's that?
I just suddenly felt like it was nice to do the Qigong here, but
Oh, okay.
what do you think? I kind of think it would be.
Okay. Sure.
I think it's nice to get moving.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, and
So we're
then we'll
gonna do,
meet each other.
yeah, this
We're
is,
fluid here.
yeah. Then we'll make sure we do introductions. Don't worry, you'll get a chance to meet everybody. But
Yes.
uh, so what we're going to do now is we're beginning the process of learning the Qigong workout that you'll be doing on a regular basis throughout this program. To begin, we're always going to be working with these exercises in three parts. The first part is what we call purgation, which in can also be considered clearing. You could think of it as clearing. Then we have a second part, which is tonification, which you can think of as energizing. It's energizing and supporting the organs and the overall vitality of the body. And then we want to regulate or balance all the energy. So all Qigong workouts work out that way. We first purge because it's like you want to clear the paint off the house before you paint it. You don't want to be painting over old paint. You got to clear that off, then you can paint the house, and then you can let it dry and let it be this lovely house that you have. So we're going to start today with just the purgation part, but we won't leave us all purged. We're going to add a few other things to give us some energy. But so we're going to start with that process so that we can begin this idea. And we're going to be doing these workouts first thing, like Wendy said, during the class. Today was a slightly different because we're introducing ourselves, but we're going to be doing that as the first thing to kind of get our energy going and kind of get us all supported, ready for the rest of the class. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to invite you to find a place that you can stand, and I'm going to invite you to make sure you can spread your arms out to the left and the right without hitting anything, because we will do an exercise that requires that. All right. So let's take a moment and just kind of feel your feet on the floor. We're going to get into the whole posture that we use in this practice is called Wu Ji. Now, Wu Ji translates as ultimate emptiness. You're creating this empty vessel that you can fill up with qi. And there's all these different structural things that we'll be doing to help with that. But for today, let's just get a sense of our feet on the ground, because we always got to have a good foundation to do the practice. So we're going to let our feet be about shoulder width apart. I'm going to actually move my screen down just a little bit more so you can see my feet. Oh, no, that's too much. Sorry. There we go. There we go. So we want our feet about shoulder width apart, and that's based by the big toe, not the little toe. And just feel a sense of relaxed knees and a nice long spine. And just kind of see if you get a sense of you can relax into this posture, like you have roots coming out of your feet going down into the earth. And just take a few deep breaths here. We're going to connect with that beautiful energy of the earth. So bring your hands in front. And we have the earth. It has this lovely force that rises up to support us. And it's an equal and opposite force from the divine that's coming down, which is just more than gravity. It's a loving light, loving energy, and they work together. They're not trying to overpower each other. So we're just going to have, for a moment, let's connect with this energy of the earth. And I'm going to invite you to sink a little bit. So bend your knees, let your hands float up, and then like you're gently pushing it back down. Almost like your hands are relaxed like jellyfish. And they're just having this moment with the earth energy, pulling it up and gently pushing back against it. This energy can also, you can get a sense of it also coming through the bottom of the feet to fill your body. And just starting to create this relationship with the earth. Perhaps this is familiar for some of you, and some of you it might be completely new, this idea of being in the flow with the earth. Just notice whatever you can sense as we do this. Getting curious about what's happening here as I do this gentle little movement. Pulling up chi and then sending it back down. Good. Couple more times. Beautiful energy. This is more yin in nature. Mother Earth, the feminine. Good. And then turn the hands over. And now I'm going to get that energy, which is not only gravity, but it's this divine healing light. And let's just kind of let your hands float here, reaching up to it and then getting a sense of it pulling down your hands so you get this force that's equal and opposite of the one we were just working with from the earth. And these energies create all this vitality because we are a part of it. We're not separate. We're all a part of this. Good. Good. And just for a moment now, touch your thumbs and index fingers and bring them right in front of your heart. So we have the beautiful energy of earth, we have the energy of the divine, and they combine to create this beauty all around us called nature. Kind of think of it as the child of the mother of the earth and sky, the yin and the yang. And we'll invite that energy to come directly into your heart. Just breathe that and get a sense of this lovely energy of nature all around coming in. Good. And then slowly let your hands come down. And let's work with all three of those energies again with an exercise called pulling down the heavens. So we're going to imagine our hands are like suction cups. And as we lift our arms, we're going to breathe in and imagine we can grab some energy from more energy from the earth. Turn the hands forward to grab nature. Turn them up and grab some beautiful energy from the sky, the divine energies. And let them wash down over the front of your body. Getting a sense of being nurtured and nourished by this beautiful energy. And any tension that's there, we'll just wash that into the earth. Good, let's do it again. Inhale, gathering from earth. Turn them forward, grab nature. Turn them up and grab some from the sky above. And let's give a little wash down the back. The hands are still in the front, but imagine it going down the back of the head, neck and shoulders, down the spine, over the buttocks, backs of the legs, and all the way down into the earth. Super. One more time. Inhale, gathering from earth, gathering from nature, gathering from the sky above. Imagine we can open the crown and the energy flows through the brain, through all of your sense organs, through your throat, through your chest, through your abdomen, down through the pelvis, through the legs, through the feet, and all the way into the earth. Good. And just get a sense of how that you're starting to build this process of how we can move energy within us and around us. So we want to do some clearing so that we can make sure that whatever is turbid or toxic in our body can start to be released. So we're going to start with something called channel dredging. So we have energetic meridians or channels, like rivers of energy that flow through the body. And the ones that go from the earth up are considered more yin, and the ones that go from the sky down are considered more yang. So we're going to start with the yin channels. So I'm going to invite you to bend over, bring your focus to your big toes. And we're going to start to rub along the inner arch of the foot to the inner ankle. You're going to come across the inner calf, inner knee as you slowly rise up, inner thigh. Bring your focus to the front of the pelvis, front of the torso, all the way up to your collarbone. Take your thumbs, put them in the opposite armpits, and then slide on the underside of the arms to the palms. And anything we've gathered, let's lift our heels and row it down. Just release it. Good. Now let's focus on the yang. So we're going to do the backs of the hands, the elbows, get your shoulders, side of the neck, do the side of the head, move to the top of the head, back of the head and neck. Bring your hands around and grab the side and back of your torso. Move down to your pelvis, side of the legs, all the way down to your little toe, and release that as well. Okay, once again, big toe, inner arch of the foot, inner calf, inner knee, inner thigh, front of the pelvis, front of the torso to the collarbone, thumbs into the armpits, on the underside of the arms to the palms, and release it. All right, backs of the hands, elbows, shoulders and arms, side of the neck, side of the head, top of the head, back of the head and neck, and then focus on the side and back of the torso, the pelvis, the legs, the feet, and the toe, little toe, and release. Good. So let's breathe in as we come up those yin channels, the inner legs. Take a nice breath in, nice, slow, deep breath. Bring your hands into the armpits, all the way over to the palms, and release that. And then inhale, backs of the hands, elbows and shoulders, side of the neck, side of the head, back of the head and neck, and side of the torso. You can start the exhale a little bit here, all the way down your little toe, and then finish that exhale. Good. We're going to go into a lot more detail as we go, but let's just kind of get the choreography as we inhale and come up to the collarbone, underside of the arms, to the palms, and release. Backs of the hands, elbows and shoulders. Here we go. Getting a sense of clearing out any tension as we go down the side and back of the body, all the way your little toe. All right. Inhale, come up those inner legs, front of the body, underside of the arms, to the palms. And backs of the hands, elbows and shoulders, side of the head, back of the head and neck. Bring your thumbs in front, fingers behind as you slide down the outside of the body, all the way to your little toe. Good. Couple more times. Inhale. Underside of the arms. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Backs of the arms, shoulders, side of the neck. All the way around the head. Exhale as we go down the side of the body, and then finish that exhale. Last one. Inhale. You sense like you're pulling away any tension from the body, like cleaning out a dam in the river so that the chi can flow better. Exhale as we go down. And then just kind of slowly roll back up to find your way back up to a standing posture. Good. Now we're going to move into another exercise which works more for the organs. So clearing out tension from the organs. And this one is called counter swing. So we're going to work with this idea of tossing like you're tossing a ball. So let's begin by just lifting your arms and slowly let them just drop down by your side. Okay? It's basically that simple a movement. But we're going to do it slightly different. So we're going to lift the arms and now let your right arm come in front and your left arm go behind. Inhale and do the same thing the other way. Exhale. So you're breathing in as you lift the arms, exhale as you toss in front and behind yourself and go from one side to the other. The idea is we're letting go of any tension in the body as easily as we toss a ball. Great exercise for clearing out tension in the heart, opening up the shoulders a little bit more. And just getting a sense of this centering and then tossing one side, then the other in the front, and then the opposite in the back. I'll give you a side view. Just getting a sense of how we're doing this. Good. Getting a sense of letting go, inviting that intention. Now, if you don't have to be visual as you do these exercises, you might start to build that as a trait that you can do, but let yourself be curious about letting go and work with the intention of the exercise. Intention is the power in the Qigong exercise. I'm intending that I'm letting go of tension in my body. I'm tossing it away. And the more you can do that, the more powerful the exercises are. As opposed to doing exercise and going, oh, what's that over there? Yeah, not focused on what you're doing. Let's do one more to each side. Good. And then let the hands come down. Bring your feet closer together. We're going to do another exercise to clear. And this is going to be a little bit deeper. This is going to be for the level of the bones and like particularly the bones and the bone marrow. We want to really support the structural part of the body. So this one is called dropping post. And I'm going to invite you to just lift and drop your heels and see if you can relax the rest of the body. Now, if you find this challenging, leave the heels on the ground and just bounce with your knees. But it's really good if you can get those heels up and down. You're not really slamming them. You're just getting a sense of bouncing here. And this bouncing creates this vibration up through the bones from the heel of your foot all the way up to the crown of your head. And as you get that bounce, this is actually strengthening your bones. They're getting stronger as they release. And if you can, you're going to let the hands relax. See if you can let your jaw relax, let your spine relax. Can you let go? And invite the body to release, but at the same time, strengthen the skeletal system. Bones actually get stronger through vibration. Good. And just breathe a little bit more focus on the exhale to let go. Good. And then begin to slow it down. Slow it down and pause. And now we're going to do something called stack the bones. Get nice and tall like a rocket shooting into the air and release. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale. Nice. Realigning the host structure and release. You can always use a chair if you find it hard to balance. Inhale. Exhale. It's a great way to strengthen the ankles, that one. And let's do another round of the bouncing. And just kind of get a sense of where you're still holding on. Can you relax a little bit more? Just get curious about that resonance that's going through your feet all the way up to your crown. Are you holding your jaw still? Can you relax it? You're holding your shoulders. Are your hands like rigid? Can you let them just go bounce? Even though the legs are active, can you even relax those? Good. All right, and then slow it down and pause. Let's take another breath in and rise up and exhale. Good. Realigning the bones. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Beautiful, everyone. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Let's just do one more cycle. Powerful number 3. Body likes that. The first time it's kind of saying, what's going on here? The second time it starts to identify with it. Third time it starts to believe it is true. Good. And then begin to slow that down. And pause. And take another breath in. And let's rise up. Exhale. Bounce. Inhale. Restacking the bones. Exhale. Release. And one more time. Lovely. Good. Let's step back out. And feet about shoulder width apart. And just have a moment to feel that kind of resonance. You might feel some shaking, some tingling, some energy moving. That's your chi starting to flow. So we're starting to invite that to be a little bit more active. Chi is meant to move. If it doesn't move, it goes stagnant. We want to make sure it's not doing that. So the final exercise in the purging part is called trembling horse. Now, trembling horse works more superficially. This is for stuff at the skin, at the fascia, all your connective tissue, at the level of your nerves. So we want to give that some support. So let's begin this one by shaking your hands. Move that shake up to your elbows. Move it up to your shoulders. And on the exhale, shake from your head down to your feet and go. Good. Inhale. Go from the fingers to the wrists, to the elbows, to the shoulders. Exhale from head to feet. Good. Inhale up the arms. Exhale down the body. Good. Couple more. Every animal on the planet does this, but humans on a regular basis. This is how they release tension. They let go of anything that's in their body that doesn't support them. We just, get all stuck in our minds about it. So it's releasing any heavy energy, shaking it out, really helping those nerves before it can go deep and cause problems. Let's do one more time. Inhale, fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders. Exhale. Really good. All right, now, once again, feel that energy. Really starting to pulse now. You might feel your fingers and hands really buzzing. You might feel it in other areas, maybe the back of the neck, the chest. Just know that you're activating your chi. You're getting more vibrancy going through the body. Let's go back to our pulling down the heavens. So let's gather some more energy from the earth. Turn the hands forward, grab nature. Turn them up and grab some from the divine and give a little wash down the front. We've shaken a lot loose. Let's see if we can clear away anything that's still kind of hanging out in the field here. Wash that into the earth. Good. Let's grab more from earth. Turn the hands forward, grab nature, turn them up. Grab some from the divine and say hello again to the back of the body. Give a little wash down. all the way down your spine, over your buttocks, backs of your legs, and any tension just gets washed away. Lovely. One more time. Inhale, earth, nature, sky. Say hello to the inside through the crown of the head, through the brain, all the glands of the brain, through the throat and the chest, abdomen, pelvis, legs, feet, all the way through into the earth. All right. So that's the 4 exercises of the purgation part of our Taoist 5 workout or basic healing workout. So now I want to introduce you to some ideas of how we can build some energy. And we're going to do it through a breathing practice called 3 sources breathing. We worked with our 3 sources a little bit already: earth, nature, and divine. So we're going to take that a little bit deeper using color and a breathing movement practice. But I'm going to give you a few places that we'll be breathing into. So the first one is going to be focused on the earth, and it's right at the bottom of the foot. And if you got your toes, you got your ball of the foot, and if you go right into the center of the arch, right behind the ball of the foot as best you can, you can always make this bigger later in the video. But right there, kind of in the center of the foot, it's called bubbling spring. Bubbling spring. Now it's on both feet. So it's the same thing on the other side. You got the toes, ball of the foot, and then right there into the arch center of the foot. And that is the first point on the kidney meridian, and that's going to connect energy with earth. You can think of it like a little bubbling spring pulling energy up. After that, we're going to work with one that more people are familiar with, which is called third eye, right between the eyebrow. In Chinese medicine is yin tang, and yin tang is our intuition center, 6th chakra, and we want to pull some energy into that. And then the last point will be right here at the crown of the head, called Bai Hui. Bai Hui is the receiving, how we receive divine energy down through the crown of the head. So we have bubbling spring, yin tang or third eye, crown of the head, or Bai Hui. So to do this, we're going to work with some colors. So let's bring our hands right here to our side. Feel a nice upright posture. We're going to only breathe with the nose for this exercise. So place your tongue right behind the upper front teeth, right on the upper palate. Close the mouth, and we're going to breathe only with the nose. And as we do that, let's take a breath in. Imagine we can pull blue light, and just work with the intention if you're not visual. Inhale, blue light, bring it up through the legs, through the pelvis, through the torso, up to the heart. Turn the hands over, exhale, and bring it back down right here to the belly. This is called the Dan Chen. We want to fill this up with qi like a big bucket. Then let the hands come down. And now we're going to grab some nature, and that's going to appear as golden light. And we're going to imagine that coming into the third eye. And we'll continue to breathe in and grab blue, red, white, purple light coming right into the crown of the head from the divine, and bring all that energy down, the golden light and all those colors from the divine. Let it come down through the heart as we exhale and join the energy from the earth right here at the Dan Chen. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale, blue light coming through the bottom of the feet, through the center of the legs. Bring it up to the torso, to the heart. Turn the hands over. Exhale and gently bring it back down into the Dan Chen. And then some golden light from earth, from nature, all around you, into your third eye. Continue to breathe in and gather blue, red, white, purple light into the crown of the head. All these divine lights coming down, joining that beautiful golden light from nature through the heart and down into the lower Dan Chen at the waist. Good. Inhale, blue light to the bottom of the feet, into the heart. Exhale. Let it come back down into the Dan Chen at the waist. Think of it like a big container. Inhale. Golden light into your third eye. Blue, red, white, purple light coming into the crown. Joining the golden light, and slowly exhale. Let it come down through your heart into your Dan Chen. Inhale, blue light from the earth, like water energy coming up. Exhale. Bring it back down. Let it fill this Danchen. Inhale, golden light into your third eye from nature. Blue, red, white, purple light into the crown of the head. Bring all that energy through your heart and into the Danchen. And just begin to feel this sense of connecting with these sources. Inhale up from the earth, blue light. Exhale back down into the Danchen. Inhale that golden light into your third eye. Blue, red, white, purple light coming into the crown. Feel it go through your heart and into the Danchen, and just starting to build this awareness of these sources. Inhale. Blue light coming up. Exhale, gently bringing it back down. Get a sense of that golden light from nature all around, coming into your third eye. Blue, red, white, purple. Coming into the crown. Get a sense of all this beautiful light filling up your Danchen. Filling you up with qi. Inhale. Blue light coming up. Exhale. Blue light coming back to the Danchen. Inhale, golden light. Third eye, blue, red, white, purple, into the crown. Exhale, slowly receiving that loving energy from earth and or from divine and nature, and back to the earth. Inhale. It's more blue in nature. Bring it down. Golden light into your third eye. Blue, red, white, purple into the crown. And let's just kind of play with that. 3 more rounds here. Just kind of play. Softly lifting up as you inhale. Exhale, let it come back down. Inhale. Gathering to the third eye, gathering into the crown. Exhale, let it flow down. Whatever colors you can remember. Inhale up. And down. Inhale up. To the third eye. Crown of the head. Exhale, bring it all down. Good. And one more time. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then bring both hands over the navel. One hand on the navel and the other hand on top, whichever way you want to do this. We'll get into a little bit more detail later of that, but for now, just place one hand on the navel, the other hand on top of that. And take a few more breaths through the nose. And imagine this energy here that we just put in, all that color, coalescing into a beautiful ball of light. And that ball compressing and getting smaller and smaller and smaller, all the way down to the size of a pearl. A vibrant pearl of light right there, hovering beneath your hands, inside your body. And then imagine that pearl drops down to your pelvic floor. And as it does so, release the hands. Take a breath in and let's guide that pearl up through all the vertebra of your spine, all the way up to the top of the neck, and then the back of the head to the crown of the head. Exhale and imagine going right down the center line of the front, like it's creating a channel down the front. Inhale up the spine. Exhale down the front. A little side view here. Inhale, fingers point towards the body. Exhale, they point away. And they go away. Inhale, symbolizing up the back. Exhale, symbolizing down the front. And of course, the front is going to be a little bit more like a waterfall, where the back is a little bit more like you're pumping it up using your breath. I'll just kind of play with this idea of this little pearl going up the spine and down the front. Tongue on the upper palate so the pearl doesn't escape. We're moving it through something known as the microcosmic orbit. We'll do a lot more detail on that. Very important orbit in the body. This exercise is called Guan Gong strokes his beard. So just getting a sense of this is very balancing in nature. Inhale up the back, exhale down the front. One more time. And then bring your hands to your navel. Take a few deep breaths. And bring your feet a little bit closer together. Smile. Let it settle here. And let's lock that in with 9 rotations, whichever direction you want to start. And do 9 rotations here at the navel. The other way, symbolically locking in our chi. Good. And then rub your hands, generate a little bit of heat. Cup those hands over your glasses or over your eyes and let it soak in. Breathe that in through your eyes, through the optic nerves, all the way in the visual cortex into the brain. Exhale it down the spine to the danchan at the waist. Inhale through the eyes to the brain. Exhale it down the spine. One more time. Working with warming up the center a little bit more, and then we'll do a little wash in the face. Starting at the chin, bring your fingertips there. Inhale, come up to the forehead. Exhale, come down over your ears. Inhale up, exhale down. Good. All the sense organs getting happy here. And then a little tap of the forehead. Move that to the crown of the head, sides of the head, back of the head, back of the neck. Just tapping that in a little bit more. Really helping the lymph come down to one shoulder. Let the palm be up and give yourself a little pat down from the shoulder to that open palm. Do the back of the hand, back of the wrist, get the elbow up to the shoulder, come across, do the other shoulder, go down to that palm. Come up the back of the arm and go all the way up to the shoulder. Do a little bit on the underarm, on each side. A lot of lymph nodes are there. Say hello to the heart and lungs again. Down the sides of the body. And go up. Right. Up the right, down. So I'm doing it correct on my body. It looks backwards on the video, but up the right side, down the left side. Up the right, down the left. That supports your digestion. Up the ascending colon. Here's your transverse colon. There's your descending colon. Do that one more time. Tap beneath the navel. We call that the Sea of Qi. Come around the waist to say hello to your lower back and your kidneys. Give them a little tap. Loosening up the lower back. And then move your focus to your legs, starting at your buttocks, moving down the outsides of the legs. Wherever you can reach. Feet and toes if possible. Come up the inner legs again. Tap right here at the pelvis, called leg gates. Wa points. And then stimulate beneath the navel. One more time. And then just have a moment just standing here. Just feel, notice your energy. See if you get a sense of how it's moving a little bit more perhaps than it was before when we were doing more sitting. Good. Lovely. Bring your hands together and let's take this beautiful energy and have a wonderful rest of our day. Thank you, everybody. Just starting the process.
Ah, all energized. Okay, nice. So questions about that or comments about that, if you weren't clear on anything, John is like super clear. is very, very good, very detailed in all of this. But if there is a question, and you mean there will be questions,
Yes, there will be.
yes, and so feel free to put those in the chat, and we will address them. Or you can just say it feels good, whatever you like to do. If you just like to be,
And of course, just want to make everybody aware too that everything that we teach here, most things that we teach, we make handouts for you. So these exercises are actually on the pulling down the heavens. We talk about that on page 3 and 4 of your handouts. All those purging exercises are on page 7 and 8. And then that three sources breathing and the Guan Gong, that's on 24 and 17. They're very wild numbers. We might shift that around. I might shift that around going forward. But so they are in your handouts. So even if you didn't get the page numbers, you'll be able to find them if you look in your handouts. So get more detail now if you really want to know.
that's right. Yes. And we will send out that question there about the requirements. If you could send that out, John, just put it into the chat, that page. 'Cause I know you had it up recently for the IAMQ requirements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to go into introductions. So I kind of like this. In fact, John, I think I'm going to spread out the meditation too. This, so it just makes it more spread out.
Okay.
Anyway, we like to break up the day in positive ways. Okay, so my introduction. I live in Marin County, California. I'm in San Anselmo, and our heat wave is just kind of over here, but there's more to come. So that's what it's like outside here. And and so I got into these practices when I wasn't living in California. I was living in British Columbia, up the coast on off the grid islands off of Campbell River, Quadra Island, Cortez. But north of there, if you're familiar with that area, which is where my kids grew up, they grew up off grid and all that stuff. In the woods, I decided that I was learning from nature directly, which is kind of interesting considering the rest of my path. But that was how I felt. I wanted to immerse myself in nature, and you definitely did there, raising kids in that kind of situation. And at a certain point, um, it was, that was kind of coming to the end. My son was in high school and needed to be in more around civilization, and like my daughter was middle school and everything, and I had the opportunity. My husband and I were splitting up, and that lifestyle, which we had been in for like 18 years or something, was over, and we we're moving into a next phase of life. And I wanted to do a retreat. So I had a lot of health issues at that point. So I had pneumonia and pleurisy and like nephritis and asthma and just a lot of those kind of things, and really probably chronic fatigue because my energy was just pretty bad. And so I wanted to heal myself. I felt like I needed this. I needed some time to heal. And then I had these friends on the other side of the island. Now, it's not like you could walk over there. There were like little kind of almost mountain ranges in between. It's a big island, but they were on the other side. And you take a boat, and it would take you like half an hour to get up to where they were. So they were on the other side of the island, and they were into like and I knew they were really known for the intensity of their retreats. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go over and just visit them because I knew them, they're friends, right? So I went over to visit them, and they said, well, why don't the three of us do a practice this winter? We'll just spend 8 months and just, get into it. And it's like, I probably could use this because part of this was Qigong, and I wasn't familiar with Qigong, but I knew that I needed some really deep healing because my health was just not good. So I said yes, and I arranged to be with my kids for one week, and I had this lovely friend, and he took off to see his kids for a couple of weeks, and I had his place, and so I could do a week there, which meant that I had to do my own practice. I had to keep the whole thing up all the time, which I did, and which was fantastic. And we did like 12-hour a day for sure practice. We started at 6 a.m. and went till 9 p.m. So it was full on. And it was, the Qigong, it was meditation, it was Tai Chi, there was some yoga, there was lots of breath work, just all of this healing work that would go on all day long. So yeah, that's with Minka. Yeah, that's where that was. So yeah, Minka and Krister at a place called Silent Ground that was on Reed Island. Anyway, so and it was on the original Silent Ground, which is more remote than the later Silent Ground. Anyway, so I started up very slowly. My lungs were very bad. I had to very small breaths, but I built up, and over that year, by the end of like I guess the end of May when we were done, um, I could do like my whole breath would be like 3 minutes, one breath, and that went from probably about 9 seconds. So incredible transformation for me because chi is breath. Like the breath is so important, and I regained my lungs. I regained my chi. And when I started to regain my chi, I was able to move the energy. So we're going to be doing microcosmic orbit, and microcosmic orbit took me months to have enough energy to be able to move, to have some energy to move in the microcosmic orbit. So I was able to, it's probably about 2 months before I had the energy to move anything. I went through a lot of phases, like being more tired than I'd ever been. I went through phases of not being able to remember anything, like my brain was gone. But I was just reassured that don't worry, it's all just part of the healing process. The chi is doing what it needs to do. You've got more chi and it's working. And then at a certain point, boom, it was like, oh my God, I got a life. It's like, I have a life. I have energy. I have vitality. This is incredible. And, I've had it since then. And I've continued the practices, but that made me so excited. I was so excited about this that I just wanted to tell other people, like, look, you can do this and you can have this energy, you can change your life. I went and became a teacher. We were doing Mantak Chia's Qigong all day. So all of his teachings, if you're familiar with his teachings, we practice all of that. Um, the, yeah, anyway, all of that all day long. And along with the yoga and all these other things I was talking about, Tai Chi, and was his form of Tai Chi. Anyway, so we had that. I had that, and I became a teacher, and I started teaching right away. I was offering seminars locally on Vancouver Island. I was offering them in Vancouver. I was offering them around Seattle and the northwest of Washington State. So I just became a teacher, um, and plus giving healing sessions. Because I didn't have this. So but they had some Chinese song. Also, I went and got qualifications in a lot of other things that were healing practices. So I added all of that to what I was doing, and a lot of other things, including I met my soulmate or love of my life, Philip Weber. Um, and he was doing light body, so I got my whole light body practice then, and got into helping him teach that and channeling. And then I came across medical qigong, and it's one of those things where you hear it, and it was like instant, like I'm going to do this. I knew it. I said to find out about it. It was like I have to do this. So I did, and that was about 12 students, and Dr. Johnson in his garage turned into a dojo, and we practiced, we took notes, we shared notes with each other. was very awesome, and he's a great teacher. And we didn't have the books. There were no books at that time. And that was 1998, maybe, I think, when I started with him. And so probably late in maybe September of 98. Now we have all these. Yes, thank you, John. But we started with, where's the giant one? Right here somewhere. Anyway, the giant one, which is that size, but it's this thick. Which you had to carry around places. Anyway, so we got that book, and that was a great improvement. And but I didn't want to teach it because I was already teaching all this other stuff. So it was like, oh, I got plenty of stuff to teach. And I told the universe I wasn't going to teach it until someone knocked at my door and said they already had a class together, because putting classes together is as much work as is teaching them. So so one day, I guess it was around 2005 or six. I'm not sure. I should ask her. Anyway, there was a knock on my door, and there she was, soon to become my very good friend. Um, she said she had a class together. She had all the students, and the teacher who was going to teach it had changed his mind, and would I teach it? And she just got my address out of the book, and she happened to live like half a block away from me. So she came and knocked on my door. So I knew the universe had my number, and I had to say yes. That's how that works. If you say something, you're going to keep your word. So I did, and I started teaching then. And then I had a friend on Vancouver Island who also wanted me to teach, and so she saw my name in the book too. I was the one of the directors of the International Institute of Medical Qigong. So it was like, okay, guess I'm doing this. So I started teaching, and yes, and basically didn't look back. It's like, well, this is amazing, and I can't believe I get to teach all this. But it went through phases. In the beginning, I had no idea how to teach this work. Some pieces I would like read notes, and it would be like, okay, I'm just going to read this because. And then there were parts, and then I got into having a flip chart. It's like, oh, this is so much better, because otherwise it was notes in a blackboard, and then it was flip charts. And then we progressed into PowerPoints, and I'm so glad to have PowerPoints. We started off with a camera trying to record everything, and now we have Zoom. I mean, we were doing it in person, and now we're doing it everywhere in the world. So it's been really wonderful. And I've learned so much over the course, and the people who I've worked with, and that I've taught, and it's just been an amazing journey. So that's me. John, over to you.
Yeah, mine's a little shorter because Wendy was my teacher. So, but I started out. I'm originally from the U.S. I live now in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and I've been here since for 21 years. So I love Vancouver. Love living in Canada. And I was among my many things, I was a expressive arts therapist, movement-based expressive art therapist. So I would use expressive arts and movement as therapeutic tools to get people to work through things. And it was actually quite lovely to do that and getting people, because sometimes they couldn't talk about their things, but they could draw it, or they could move it, and it's a lot easier to work with sometimes. But I just felt like there was part of that, and I was kind of in that world, and Minka DeVos as well, and I were actually co-chairing a sacred dance festival in Vancouver, and she had these flyers for Wendy's course, and it said, the same kind of people I know. Maybe you have some people that might be interested in taking this medical Qigong course. It was called medical Qigong at that time, wasn't shamanic yet. At least we didn't call it that, even though it was. um, so I got these handouts, these flyers, and as soon as I touched it, I went, "Oh, wait a minute, me!" So I realized that I needed to be a part of this, and that's why I started to go there. And I went and listened to her talk about it, which was on my birthday, which I thought was pretty cool. That was probably, I think, pretty auspicious. I thought, hmm, this is a good sign. And she began to talk about how this work goes into the world, and I could feel her passion when she was talking about it. So I knew it was coming from a real place. And one of the things she said is, I was concerned about, making sure that everything would be, because I had all my own health issues and stuff, and I didn't want to be giving anybody any energy that I thought would be, creating problems. So I was very happy when she mentioned how all the protocols and things that we do to set up so that we can do these sessions without, transferring that to others, working with the divines. So, um,
I just
that
gonna say
was
this is Minka.
Oh,
Minka,
there's Minka's book. Yes,
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 quite well known for this book,
yeah,
Tantric Arts for Women. So
yeah. So what brought me to this too was my health issues. Mine were mostly of the digestive nature. I had all kinds of weird ass symptoms. Best way I can describe it. They were just weird. I had some of the worst heartburn, I think, ever. And it wouldn't get, normally if you drink water, it's very, it dilutes the acid. That would make it worse. And I was like, what's going on here? Later during the course, I realized there was some motion there that I wasn't dealing with, and which I have since worked with. But I did learn an exercise, and it was called the 5 Yang exercise, which you'll be learning very soon. And that exercise helps to tonify the digestion. And I did this for a week and started to notice changes. And I did it for 2 weeks, and all my symptoms were gone, which was so powerful because they were talking surgery and they were want to give me heavy pharmaceuticals, and they were going the whole gambit. Had lots of scopes done, and I was like, oh boy, I'm just done with this. And then to find this exercise that shifted everything was so amazing. Um, and so I was ready to go with this course after learning that exercise. Um, I don't know if it was from Minka or somebody. So then I started that in, I always say 2010. I think that's when the whole process started. So about 15 years ago, working with Wendy. And then I did all 3 years that were offered at the time, and then a little bit of the doctorate course. I was part of that initial course. And so it was just the fascination of learning all this and how it became the thing that I felt like was missing because it creates this container that everything kind of fits into. So my expressive arts would still work with that. Um, Anything that you're doing this will be a support of it. It's not necessarily you have to pick something and do this or that or this. So we are definitely trying to show you that there's this open container that this can work with. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm very excited to be teaching with Wendy. I said in our practice thing, it was 7 years. It's actually 6. I
it's
miscounted.
six.
It's 6 years. So 6 years teaching this to get this level together, and it's our second year doing
Yeah.
the second year students. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we're having fun teaching together.
Eventually, I'll drag you into doing the masters too.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for you to still trying to learn the second level.
I know. We just do a step at a time here. Okay. Well, thank you, John. Yes, it's been a journey. It's been a fantastic journey.
Yeah.
There's something like a journey that gives you more health and vitality and, changes your life. One of the things I loved about this was that it brought everything together. So it really brought together
Oh
everything
yeah.
that I had learned. It's when I heard the term medical Qigong, it was like, oh, that's going to bring everything I do together now into one thing. And it did in more ways than I could have imagined. So so that's powerful.
Hmm.
And okay, well, we'll get into all this stuff going forward. I'm not going to add things because we're going to be adding a whole lot. So anyway, so let's hear from folks out there. So who would like to just say a little bit about, we'd like you to say where you're from and what brought you here and what you are, looking for. So Anyway, who
Anybody want to volunteer to
who is
go first?
ready to start? And you can always
I
just,
can, I can start.
Okay, Barbara.
oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's Barbara, and I live in Fort Langley, which is not that far from where John is. I was in his neck of the woods actually yesterday walking around. Um, I think that, how did I get into Qigong? My background is in running my own business for over 20 years and working with people and organizations. So, and, my mantra even at that time was to create better workplaces by working with boards and managers and staff and just trying to make life better for people where they live. So I taught, created courses, did presentations, and all that sort of thing. Just after COVID hit, I got a diagnosis of cancer. So it was about 6 years from this month and 6 years from surgery. So during that, when you first get diagnosed, and I think, I hear some of the health issues that people had, but it changes your perspective of life because you not only think about, life, you don't even see an ending before you're diagnosed with something like that. But the possibility of death becomes very real when you're diagnosed with something like cancer. So the fear kind of kicks into that. And I think that, when the fear kicked in, one of the things I decided is I think cancer sort of was like a baseball bat to me of saying there's something else that you should either be practicing or doing, or, there's something else out there besides what you're already doing. And I had a tarot reader and she said, well, you've already finished one purpose. There's something else. And so I didn't listen very well. I did read some books, Radical Remission, and realized that there were some actions beside sort of Western medicine and chemo and radiation and pills and all of that stuff, the meds. So I got hit again after 18 months of finishing my first round of cancer, a second round of cancer. And I think that's when it really integrated sort of not only the physical side with your meds, but the spiritual side, your mind and how much influence we can have on our own healing. And so I created this mantra, which I live to today, and it's sort of, I choose life. So, I read Radical Remission by somebody in some research, and it's not that you don't know that you're going to die, but you live until that point. Mm-hmm. And we all die at some point, whether it's cancer or something else, right? I have friends around me doing that. So I guess, how did I get introduced to Qigong? I started to go to Inspire Health, which is a cancer support group. John was the Qigong healer, or the practitioner, I guess, the physical, showing the class. So I attended that. And then I did healing, started to do some healing with John. And then he posted that there was this practice you could go to for free, which was the action of this actual course of practitioners who had gone through the course doing medical Qigong on people who volunteered. So I did that for 2 rounds. And I don't know, there's something about the combination of sort of body, mind, and spirit that just linked well with where I felt was responsible for me being 6 years, almost 6 years down the road, right? And so this course, after I took that second round, I just felt like it was like I couldn't ignore it, right? There was something that said, I have to do this. And I think it's not only for my own, and I think about it for my own healing, but one of the things I've thought about, which sort of links back, as John said, my container of skills, is, what do I bring to the table and what kind of a legacy am I going to walk away with and leave behind? Not saying I'm going to die tomorrow. That's not my, the way I think about it, but, what do we contribute? And I think that this is a way, scientific way, research way, ancient way of practice that I can learn and apply to myself, but also, hopefully bringing hope to others. Sort of that alternative way of thinking. I mean, when you tell people you're taking it, they look at you a little bit strange, right? Because they'd rather just take the chemo, the meds, that sort of stuff. And I just don't think that's enough, right? I really don't. So hopefully, so I'm looking forward to it.
Glad to have you with us, Barbara.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Next part of your journey. Wow.
Yeah, I
That's
guess so.
right.
Hey, who else would like to share? Michelle? There we go.
Unmute.
There you go.
Oh, sorry, not the great with technology. Hi guys, nice to meet
Hi.
you. Lovely hearing about your backgrounds. It's very inspiring. And Barbara as well. It's a beautiful story. Yeah, so just I grew up on the east coast of Canada, like you were saying, Wendy, like with nature all around. That led me to Nova Scotia. So I did Bachelor's of Fine Arts and Associate's in Design there. So today I do advanced watercolors. I do like a hyperrealism kind of style, working from photos. But the thing to mention about that is that at that time I had created a tarot, funny enough, because like Barbara was mentioning. And after living a couple of years in New York, I had it published and that went all over the world. And then I put it in a drawer. Because at the time when I had made it, I was so into the research and the energy, I felt a real pull to create something that was really beautiful. But then something said it isn't time. So I kind of put that away and I was really young. I was like, believe it or not, I was 21 years old. So from there, going forward, many years later, I'm living in Alberta, in Edmonton. And then something just happened personally. I had a nephew that was born with issues with his heart. And I just remember thinking to myself, I'm going to send energy, which I did. And I could literally feel it pulling out of me. So I always knew I was a little bit sensitive to things, but I didn't know what I was doing. I said, oh, I'm just going to send energy. And thank God, like he came through that. But then I got very, very sick. And for a good year, I was renovating. I live in a 1926 house. I had 3 little kids and my husband doing all this stuff plus work around my children like a crazy person. But I just felt exhausted. And after a diagnosis from the doctor telling me I had no D in my body, I was like, what happened? Doing some research, finding out how energy can pull, can do lots of things. I thought, I have to examine this. So I made a promise to the universe that when he pulled through, that I would help people. So going forward, I started with crystal therapy, just something light and learning about crystals. And then I went into healing touch, which I did a 4-year program in, which was very familiar. A lot of the stuff we're talking about, like heart-centered, beautiful stuff. And then from there, I just kept going. I thought, okay, I'm going to do reflexology. I ended up doing advanced reflexology. Gosh, guys, like it's just like ongoing. And then I thought, okay, now I have to do massage. So then I did massage. And now I'm doing advanced training for reflexology in the UK, doing precision techniques. And the reason this came up is because while I'm working on folks in clinic, especially during COVID, there was a lot of stuff that was coming to my table. I kind of developed a massage technique just to clear, energize, and balance the body. So, but I was guided because having learned about guides, as we've just mentioned, when I was taking Healing Touch, put me in touch with almost like universe help me. So at this point, it's been quite successful helping a lot of people and then clearing the body so they can strengthen themselves energetically. But then it was like, okay, something is missing. I had my guide say to me, no, you got to keep going. There's something, Michelle. And funny enough, you're going to laugh. I said to my son, who's my oldest, my auntie, he said, Mom, why don't you ask ChatGPT? I went, what? Because see, I don't do technology very well. And I said, what should I ask? He goes, why don't you just ask a question? Because, find out where you should go. And literally, I asked, I said, what's this with Qigong? Like I had, I knew about medical Qigong. I said, what could I? So I just laid it out simply. And then you guys came up immediately. And I went, and it was like, this is a wonderful program. And you need to be, and I said, done. So I'm literally sitting here because my dear friend Chad, his programmer, who I adore, has helped me with so many little things, has told me to be here. So in saying that, I feel very lucky to meet you both. and I'm looking forward to all the good stuff. And honestly, like I said, I'm not too good with the technology side of things, but if it's and even following the flow, if I can do it, I mean, I'm in it to try. And it sounds wonderful. The program sounds great. So thank you for having me. So I hope I haven't gone on too much.
Where are you?
In Edmonton. I'm in Alberta. And
Oh,
I'm
you're in
in
Edmonton.
BC. Oh, I'm just right in Edmonton.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I thought sound like you were in the UK at some point, but okay, you're in Edmonton.
Yeah, I went to school. I go to school in the summer months. I should say in the spring. I've gone for a couple weeks to the UK. So
Okay.
I go again next year.
Okay.
Oh, and I should say I did some guided imagery with a Dr. Bresler from California.
Oh.
So I did his program as well. So yeah, this just feels very good. It feels awesome.
Yes, wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
We have a lot of people from the UK here, so.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so who would like to go next?
Susan Bond, South UK.
Sure, yes.
It's like
Hi there, Stuart.
Hi, Stuart.
Yeah. Hi there. Yeah, I'm based in North Cotswolds in the UK. Retrained 10 years ago to become an acupuncturist, specialising in 5 elements and TCM, an integrated form. It was after 30 years of working in corporate, decided needed something a bit better. And I'd done some Qigong beforehand, had acupuncture myself, and worked out, I wanted to do something like that. So been practicing now after the degree for the last 7 years, and I want something that I can give people as homework. So looking forward to being able to prescribe exercises and healing sounds for people. So I've got a couple of patients at the moment it's going to be ideal for going forward. And really interested in the subtle different ways compared with what I've learned, slightly different look at it. So yes, looks very comprehensive.
Yeah.
Having looked at the books, my God, there's a lot of reading.
Yes. So you were in the Worsley School?
No, the people who I trained with learned from John Worsley.
Okay. Yeah. So
I do an
lineage.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an integrated form. So we do 5 elements and TCM.
Okay. Ah, so, that's together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's John and Angela Hicks were the 2 people who set up the college. They used to run the college with John
okay.
years ago. So they broke away because they wanted to do a bit of TCM. They thought that was the bit that was missing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, lovely.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. Welcome.
Yes.
And the other thing, you're talking about healing sounds and stuff. I just want to add, you're going to be really excited when you can start to put more energy into those needles too, when you're supporting people too. That'll be another lovely benefit for your clients.
Oh yeah. Plus, plus distance.
I like working with energy. Yeah. Yes, that's it. It's being able to treat people from distance.
Yes, as we have someone in France who's an acupuncturist, and she is just getting a lot of distance acupuncture clients now. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that bit.
Yeah. Well,
the
thank you.
needles are lovely. Yeah, great. Thank you, Stuart. Welcome.
Yes, welcome. Okay, who is next?
So I'm Gavin. I'm Stuart's partner. We're actually in the same room.
Okay.
So we obviously live in the same place. So by background, I'm a neuropsychologist. My day job is doing rehabilitation in hospital people with kind of significant neurological injury. But my interest has always been in psychoneuroimmunology, so the impact of emotional distress and trauma on the immune system, and then vulnerability to the disease by increased inflammatory response and immune dysregulation and autonomic dysregulation in relation to kind of complex early trauma. What drew me to Chinese medicine per se is the kind of fundamental tenet that disease is based on um, um, unprocessed emotions affecting the organ system. And so different ways of, so Stuart went down the acupuncture route, but I was kind of more drawn to different energetic modalities of working with it, which are different from the kind of psychotherapeutic modalities I work with around helping people consciously access their painful emotions that are either suppressed, ignored, or dissociated away. But this is a complementary way of working with the impact of emotion on the body.
Mm.
So I've trained in a number of levels of pranic healing, kind of Master Choa Koksui's pranic healing. So I do that, and I've had quite good results from doing that and doing that training. But I'm also, again, it felt like there was a kind of a call to work with medical Qigong and somehow figure out eventually how to work with maybe both of those systems, or when I work with one or when I work with the other. But again, I really like the incorporation of being able to prescribe particular exercises so people can then do it on themselves. They don't become reliant on a pranic healer just to do the healing for them. They can go off and do lots of stuff for themselves in between. So that's a real draw. And yeah, kind of more interesting metaphysical and spiritual aspect and shamanic aspects that I kind of have a shamanic practice myself. So that's kind of the draw, really. Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. And all that, everything you bring, obviously will incorporate.
Yes.
And like, yeah, and I love the pranic healing. It's got some great things with it too. So I love bringing that in too. Nice. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, Gavin.
Okay, well, who's next? Sarah. I mean, Susan.
Susan.
Okay, I'm Susan. I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Grew up mostly in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Lived for a few years in Seattle, Washington, while my father was a student there, studying at the university. I was married for 24 years. We had 4 children, and I now have 4 grandchildren. And when I was pregnant with my third child, I studied Tai Chi. There was a local group at the university, and and what I loved best about Tai Chi actually were the Qigong exercises. And I was introduced to Golden Ball, and I thought it was magical. I didn't understand it, but I remember being 7.5, 8 months pregnant with this third child who was almost 10 pounds when he was born. At the end of my class, I went, it was, middle of winter, February, and I lifted my one foot and stood on the other and bent over to put on my boot. And I was absolutely rooted and absolutely stable. And I thought, I don't know what this is, but it works. And then fast forward to years later and more Tai Chi with a little bit of Qigong at the beginning. And then fast forward many years later, and my parents are living in Vancouver, Washington, or Vancouver, BC, sorry. And I'm visiting them. And they said, "Oh, we're taking these Qigong classes." And they said, "Oh, Qigong, can I come with you?" And so I started going with them whenever I went to visit. And that's how I met John. And John mentioned medical Qigong, and I had a light bulb moment too, like you were talking about. It's like, well, that makes sense. And he would invite people in his class to come, 5 or 10 minutes early to discuss one aspect of or answer questions about medical Qigong, anything that they had questions or concerns about. Anyway, fast forward again to after many years of him teaching my parents. First one passed, and then 5 years later, My mom passed, and that was at the very beginning of the pandemic. And I thought, I don't, I just put it out to the universe. I don't want to lose my contact with Qigong, not just Qigong, but with John. And I looked online, and he had just started offering online classes that fall. And so I have been studying with John every week, basically, on or off.
Long time.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
since then. And I've started. It's become so much a part of my life. And like you say, it's it's like an empty vessel, a container for everything else. And I'm just finding a sense of everything kind of coming together more. I moved to Winnipeg about 13 years ago to be closer to my daughter and two of my grandchildren and their father. And I'm also by trade, I'm a writer, a copywriter, an editor, work with content, but I'm also a composer and a singer, and I have a special interest in healing, sound as healing, and music and vibration as healing. And during just after the pandemic, I also got a diagnosis of not cancer, but diabetes. And I had gestational diabetes, so it was no surprise really. But I decided to do what I could to try to reverse or control what I can. And I went to a healing retreat actually this past May near Campbell River called Fresh Start. And a powerful, powerful experience there. And it just kind of confirmed with me that the healing path, the qigong, the voice, the sound therapy was a path that I am called to pursue. So I still work as an editor. I have clients mostly in the United States, but I don't want to sit at my desk all day. And recently, I sing with several groups on and off here in Winnipeg. And one of our groups is not a performance group, but we sing Georgian polyphonic folk music from the country Georgia. And we're led by a fellow who did his PhD. He's an ethnomusicologist who did his PhD in Georgian polyphonic folk music. So a bunch of us went to Georgia in August, and we were there for 2 weeks on a private tour, learning new songs, eating amazing Georgian food, traveling around and hiking. And my heart is so full. My cup is very full. I've been traveling a lot for the last 2 years after coming out of a very toxic relationship. And it's been a complete reset. And I just feel so much gratitude. And I'm just looking for, I'm welcoming everything that this course and everybody in it has to offer. And I'm really enjoying hearing all your stories too.
Wow. Ooh, and I love that kind of singing. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. I love that you do that. Oh, so welcome.
Yes, welcome, Susan.
Yeah. Okay, I think Naomi was going to share.
I'd love to share.
Oh, who's going next? I'm sorry.
Naomi.
Oh, Naomi, then Bria. We'll do Naomi first and then Bria, right?
Sure. Hi, I'm Naomi or Mimi, and I'm currently in London. I'm English, but I also spend a lot of time in Ibiza. I mean, I spend a lot of time in the US too. I'm going there in November. And I did the Tao Tantric Arts training with Minka and Sashi 2 years ago. And I for some reason didn't hear the Qigong part of the course, having studied Tantra and stuff for 10 years. And so it was my first experience of it. However, my very first sort of spiritual teacher was an acupuncturist who told me you need to do Tai Chi. You need to do Tai Chi. That was 25 years ago. And I never did it. And then on that course, Minka told me about Wendy, who I put some sessions with, and through Wendy, I guess I got to hear about John. Or maybe Rosa and Delphine, who
Rosa
did.
got you in contact with me, right? Yeah.
Right, Rosa, yeah. Um, and Delphine, my friend, also did this course last year. And so I've been doing different healing modalities for 25 years, since that first acupuncturist who was really a magician. And I am very sensitive to energy. And when I first started working with facilitating people 10 years ago, I used to get very sick sometimes after sessions where I'd pull things out of people. And then I have a healer in England who kind of helped me clean up a bit. And he tried to teach me some energy where, I don't know, it just didn't quite gel. And so when I learned about this course, I thought I'm definitely going to do it. But I was trying to have a baby. Um, and so I thought in the future, and then I had like a shock breakup in July that I wasn't
Mhm.
expecting. My partner got psychosis and really
Wow.
lost the plot. And so I'm out of that situation. I like got moved out, I would say. And here I am. I thought this would be the perfect thing to do. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to training my energetic skill set, which is kinesthetic as well. Um, and I can do all kinds of things, but I don't really know how I do them. So I'm looking forward to learning that on this course. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So glad you're here. Yes, this is a great thing for you to do at this point in time. Yeah.
So create that container I think you're looking for. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Great. Bria.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
All right, so I live in North Vancouver, and right now I'm going between North Vancouver and Ucluelet a lot, so
Oh,
coming at you all from Ucluelet at the moment. And yeah, I've been wanting to study Qigong for over a decade. I'm half Chinese, and my grandma, she's a Sifu. She teaches Tai Chi, and I grew up seeing that. She was always creating like big herbal stews and teas when we're feeling sick. And
Oh,
a lot of that led into just a more alternative way of seeing the world. And when I was quite young, I started studying yoga and meditation, breath work, herbalism, and then kind of got lost along the way. I, started partying and then went to school, became a nurse. I ended up having an emergency brain surgery that
oh.
it's a miracle I'm still here. And yeah, it was like a lot had happened in my life, and coming back to my path and coming to a place where I just have a lot more stability and have done a lot of healing in my body and my energy, and
Mhm.
um, from all the learning of the roller coaster of life. And now I'm just at a place where I'm like, it is time to really just focus and commit and continue back into what is really aligned and without any outside voices. And studying Qigong was very clear. And yeah, Susan, I wanted to speak after you did because there's a lot of similarities. I got out of a very toxic relationship just over 2 years ago and started singing. And I work with master plants, and now I support and sing medicine music in ceremonies. And
Oh,
yeah,
wonderful. Oh my God.
I love it so much. It's like lights me up and is it's like a deep prayer. And I feel like studying Qigong is just gonna elevate and help ground and integrate all of this work that I'm doing and just really bring it together and keep me clear and clean and focused and present through all these different avenues of my life that I'm really passionate about. Even with my nursing practice, working with other people and doing the energy work that I do in these different, like, and really alternative spaces. And the plants are teaching me, and that's like the experience is teaching me, but I do think this will really help me have more structure. And that's also something I need in my life because I'm very flowy and do all the things. And my heart's like, oh, I want to learn it all, but I do need more of that. Yeah, more structure in my life. And I think this will help with that as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm also glad you're here. Thank you.
Gosh.
Love the story of your grandma.
Yeah.
Great foundation there.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. So who's next?
Okay, they both raised their hand. So
Esther.
Oh, okay.
we'll do Esther and then you do Robert.
Okay. Hi everybody. Well, a few days ago, I listened to your intro, and you are offering exactly two things that I had decided I want to do this year. And this year, I mean now, because we just have just finished our new year.
Right.
So,
Rosh Hashanah. Yeah.
Rosh Hashanah. So we just have our Rosh Hashanah, and this was not what I planned because I love Qigong and I wanted to, but I'm a bit bored in the class that I was in, and I want to go more into the medical side, more learning how to adapt it to the needs of people. And also breathwork is something I never developed. So, and I think I can use it. So my main practice nowadays is I'm a clinical psychologist, trauma therapist, work with EMDR and IFS, but I bring in a lot of the alternative way because since my first year of study in psychology, when I was very disappointed with the fact that they want to treat people in psychology without considering either the body nor the spiritual aspect of the human being. So there was nothing available then. I was in Europe studying. So I added myself, for massage, energy healing. That's something that runs in my family, but I did courses to develop it. I am a licensed Tao Shiatsu therapist, reflexology license. I work with all of that a little bit. And more things. Luminescence, light body teacher.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I want to bring it all more together. I want to move my practice from less treatment work to more teaching, and also starting to work with groups. So I think that this course is really going to help me move forward. And yeah, what else?
Where are you? You gotta let us know where you are.
Okay, that's also important. And that's very relevant because I need to tell you. So I'm in Jerusalem, Israel. That can also mean that any moment the missile alarm can go off, in which which means that I'm going to have to run to the shelter. That happens here every week, several times, any hour of day or night. Yeah. And they're shooting cluster bombs at our neighborhoods. So it isn't really like, if that happens, if the alarm goes off, I have my phone. I'm a person who, obviously everybody complained that I'm not reachable on my phone. Now I have it with me because we're getting the alarm on there and we have to take it seriously. So if I suddenly disappear, I'll hopefully be back a half an hour late.
Right.
It's the reality.
And we love that you're bringing such beautiful energy there to an area that so needs it. So,
oh yes,
being here.
Definitely. That's and I got involved with luminescence and so during the beginning of COVID, because the good side of COVID is that all kind of beautiful courses, like also John's course and so, went online. And I met Irene Siegel that way, and I got involved in the light body work, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you, Esther.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, we're glad you're here. Okay,
And
and
last but
then
not least, we got
Robert.
Robert, all right, as he calls himself, Bobster.
Sorry, I don't know who put Bobster on there. It wasn't me. It was
Wasn't you?
a bad joke. I don't know how to change it. Sorry.
Oh, there is, yeah, you
Um,
can change
You
it.
can change it in the upper corner of your video. You just
Yes,
see the 3 dots. It should allow you to rename yourself.
yes, you need to rename yourself.
If you put your cursor on your picture and see 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, it'll give
I'm on
you.
an iPad. I'm on an iPad, so
Oh, okay.
I'll work it out. I'll
Yeah,
work
Okay.
you
it
can
out
work it out. Yeah.
another time.
I think I can do it for you. What would you like on there? Robert?
Robert, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I've been called worse things than Bobster, but
there you go. Well, that should feel a little better.
cool. Thank you. I don't know how you did that, but I'm in Zimbabwe, Southern Africa, and I am a traditional medicine practitioner. I work with Amazonian plant medicines, specifically Kambo, Mapacho tobacco, and I lived in the Amazon for a year in 2018, where my first son was born, and was initiated into the world of shamanism with a year of ayahuasca and Mapacho tobacco. So yeah, that was my introduction and my initiation into the shamanic world and a different way of life and looking after ourselves. So yeah, I'm a full-time Kambo practitioner here in Zimbabwe, helping people with addictions, all the modern day diseases, cancer, immune issues, depressions, all these terrible modern afflictions. And yeah, the Kambo works in a way that's there's a lot of crossover with Chinese medicine. In regards to the work we do on the organs. But without rambling on, the Kambo basically returns us back to our primitive, primal, pre-modern selves as we were designed to be. And it does that by removing everything from the organs and from the systems and from the glands that does not belong there. And that allows the organs and the systems to basically be restored to their optimal function. As you all know, the body can heal itself from anything given the right conditions, and the Kambo basically removes everything from our beings that is hindering it, that doesn't belong there. And yeah, it's very much in line with Qigong and Chinese medicine. It's very contradictory to modern medicine. We don't treat symptoms. We treat problems, and yeah, we don't separate mind, body, spirit, any of these things. It's all one. So really, I'm here to develop my skills as a healer. My medicines are very hard for people to take, and it's a very hard sell. I think Wendy's aware of the Kambo process. It's a very, very brutal experience for us modern people that don't like discomfort in any way. But that is the essence. That is the essence of its power. Is taking us back to more primal ways of doing things. But so I want to increase my capacity to help people in conjunction with the medicines I work with. Yeah, as I said, there's a lot of crossover. Chinese medicine, the organs and emotions link, and everything really is very, very strongly correlated. So yeah, that's what I'm here for, is to increase my capacity to heal myself and help others. In my previous life, I was a professional rugby player, so I spent the last 10 or 15 years trying to undo all of that damage, not just to my body, but to my nervous system, my head, and my spine. Everything has been, let's say, aching a lot since the rugby days, and I'm finally working out how to down regulate everything from a lifetime of being in warrior mode, and Qigong came onto my horizon about the same time as I started working with plant medicines, actually. And in the last couple of years, I started 5-element Qigong as part of a practice to help me work through all the damage and trauma of not just rugby, but early life and childhood and all that went on before that. So yeah, I'm very excited to be part of this, and yeah, incorporating it into my life to help myself and help my family, and have more of a toolkit beyond the medicines, because some people just can't go through those processes, and others can. But I know this will be a huge addition to my skills as a healer, and that starts with myself.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wendy, you're muted.
Yes. Okay. I had barking dog.
Oh.
I'm not sure it would have carried, but anyway. So I think we heard from everybody.
Yeah.
We'll have more
Lovely.
people coming on the weekend, and we'll have them share too. Okay, lovely. I think it's time for our break.
Let's take a break. Yeah.
A little late today, but that's okay. Sometimes it's a little late. So we're on a break for 20 minutes. So basically come back at 11:38. We just do it from the...
Yeah. So 38 minutes after the hour.
Yes, whatever hour that is for you.
Whatever that hour is for wherever you are in the world.
Yes. Okay, we're going to come back, and I'll let you know that we are going to be doing a PowerPoint. So, so feel free if you need to have a snack with you.
Yeah, especially the Europeans.
Yes.
And Israelis and Africans, maybe they want to.
Yes. I need to have that. Okay.
All right. And we'll pause our recording for now.
Yeah. So, oh, thanks for adding that, Susan. She said, I just love our diversity and of backgrounds and experience and locations. Yeah, it's so fun to meet everyone. And yeah, Naomi is asking Michelle where she is in England. So maybe she wants to, Michelle, where you were going to in England.
Yeah.
Anyway, and we're going to also get the WhatsApp.
Can you start your recording too, Wendy?
Oh, thank you, John. John's in charge of telling me to do that. Okay, thank you, John. Yes, we're also going to get the WhatsApp group going. So we love the WhatsApp. Everybody, everywhere, you can chat and talk to each other. It's pretty wonderful, especially when you start to have some questions and things, and you can put them in the chat. And we're always monitoring the chats. And someone just had something this morning that they had come up and in one of the chats with the therapist class, and we were answering that for them. So it's really a wonderful tool. It's an interesting world we live in, but this is the great parts of it, we get to enjoy this. And okay, we're going to get now into the PowerPoint. So lecture. Lecture. There we go. Oops. Thank you. Okay. Here he is. Here are the cover for the binder or the handouts that you got. And that is she's a shamaness. That would be shaman, a female shaman by the name of Chen Jingu. So, and we have an index, and here we go. Empty Mountain. That's an interesting name. Chinese, this is empty, is the Wu or Wu, which is yin, and Shan, which is mountain, which is yang. So Empty Mountain is a perfect harmony of yin and yang. So that emptiness, and it's also like sitting in meditation with an empty mind. And so the sitting like a mountain and with that quiet mind, that empty mind. So different ways that we can look at this, but it's very much empty and mountain are very yin and yang. And the yang of the mountain is sort of something that has arisen from the earth. And so it is that kind of a mountain. It's a trigram. It's one of the Chinese trigrams. And Wu would be the earth trigram, which would be empty. So there's a lot of interesting things that come together here. Introduction to Shamanic Chinese Medicine. Shamanism in China is prehistoric. Yes, it goes back. It's not just in Siberia and Mongolia. It was everywhere, and it's still there. It's still in China. It's still in Taiwan. There are shamanic temples there. It is still a part of that culture. It didn't ever go anywhere. It's just not talked about a lot, and we're bringing it back to be talked about more. And so it's very feminine too. It's really the intuitive aspect. The masculine is it's almost more like the TCM and the things that have been written down more in the books, passed along, and the shamanic is more the fluid, the background understanding. And it's also was a part of like Taoism. Taoism was considered very shamanic, but because of politics, they made it not so. They stopped calling themselves shamanic. Of course, that wouldn't have meant anything before Buddhism came along, because there was just the one thing, which was what we call Taoism, but it was just the way, and it's Tao means the way. And so it was just the way. It didn't become separated as you can choose this religion or that religion until Buddhism came in, which is maybe around, I don't know, 500 in current era. So it's kind of interesting. We're going to talk more about that. Okay, Chinese medicine's roots go back over 5,000 years, and that's just going back to like the time of the Yellow Emperor, and it would go back before that. But we're talking, if you read about the Yellow Emperor, it's pretty shamanic. So we'll say that the teachers, the sort of the devas, the beings that came to teach the Yellow Emperor. Taoism and Taoist concepts are based on the wisdom of the ancient Wu and the Wu Yi shamans. So the Taoist, the Wu, the female shamans are the ones who connected heaven and earth. And it's very much like the medicine people all over the world are, doing the same thing. And and it was sort of a universal understanding, and it was around for so long. I'm sure all of it was interplaying between all of the different areas around the world. The Wu Yi being the more masculine that came in a little later. Originally, they were the Wu were the females. So we do this. The Wu are properly pronounced as the Wu, the Wu. I can't probably pronounce it properly anyway. So this connection of heaven and earth was considered to be so important and so powerful. And to be able to, channel these powers, and this is us, this is what we are about, this is what we learn to do. John this morning had you working with the energies of heaven and earth over and over again. You were working with heaven and earth. So Qigong has a basis back in this shamanism, in the Wu. And the deep understanding of reality developed organically from meditation and contemplation of nature. So it's just the study and understanding of what is, in whatever way they accessed this information. And perhaps with plant medicines, perhaps with, we don't know. This is very prehistoric. So the ancients understood that we are one with and inseparable from all of existence. And so this is a large idea, to be one with and inseparable from all of the ideas. So that is, we sometimes just call that oneness, or unity consciousness, or being conscious, the Advaita, the true experience of just being one with it all. And there was a way of seeing the world which is different than the compartmentalized way that we see the world, which is we divide it into us and them, and object, self and object. So there's all these separations that we make in consciousness, and the ancients were not like that. They experienced the complete connection of body, mind, and spirit. So everything is woven together, no separate causes. Everything is the cause of everything. And so there's always a cause, and causes always go a little deeper when we stop and look at things. And so we look at someone and we point out and say, oh, they were wrong and bad. But we don't really know why a person might behave a certain way. And so it takes a little longer. It's sort of like you really need to go in and have a deeper understanding. And so everything is the cause of everything. This is like a Buddhist saying. And it's like the weather today. Oh, it decided to rain. No, there were a lot of causes. The causes of the rain go back to the beginning of time. We had to have, a planet form, and then we had to have clouds form, and then we had the flows. And it's sort of like, well, where did that wave come from off the ocean? Well, that's everything has caused that wave to be there. It just didn't arise in and of itself. Nothing does that. You plant a seed in the ground, and it's like, oh, I planted the seed. Let's see how it grows. Well, there's a lot of causes in there. There's the actual, the seed and the creation of the seed, the structure of the seed, the genetic material of the seed. And you're going to mix that with the quality of the soil and the air and the water and the time of year and the pull of the moon and the stars and the planets. And, what are the causes? Everything is woven together. So we really like to approach things from this idea of it all being within a great weaving, and looking at, 5 elements. And I love the charts that show the 5 elements. And inside of each of the 5 elements, you have each one of those. There's another 5 element to look at. And within one of those, there's another 5 element to look at. So is this the causes, when we look at things? They are very large. And so we are both the microcosm and the macrocosm. And that is the history of life and the destiny of every soul to embody. And so you're coming here to be able to embody more of your macrocosm, the greater aspect of who you are. And so yes, we are a microcosm. We are the reflection of, like, the universe is inside of us, and we are a reflection of that. But we are also the whole. There's nothing that exists outside of the Tao, not the smallest particle or your innermost thought. And so it is a web, and we are an integral part of that web, and we can't not be. We can't not be. We can't eliminate ourselves from all that is. You know, you can't step out of it and say, I'm just not going to be a part of this. You are a part of this. Qigong and shamanic Chinese medicine are based on this wholeness of the Tao. So we're coming from this greater understanding. To master this form of energy healing is to follow the Tao, the path of spiritual unfoldment. And it's also is just called the way. Study that we study all that is. And so it's a large path that you are embarking upon. It's not just this and that. Everything is contained within it. Everything has the same core energy, which would be Einstein's unified field theory, but it is the study of all and how everything fits together. That's why everything you start to get a sense of the wholeness of everything. When you start to come from these other perspectives.
Could you try again?
Oh, Siri's talking. Stop it, Siri. Go away. There we go. She's on airplane mode once again. Yes. Okay. Why study Qigong healing? It can be called Chinese energetic medicine or shamanic Chinese medicine. So we're really going back to more of the ancient aspects of it. We were calling it medical Qigong, which was great. And then I started having people tell me, oh, I study medical Qigong too. And it's like, oh, you do? Who'd you study with? Because I pretty much know the teachers of medical Qigong. And they'd be like, oh, I don't know about, who that is that teaches. Oh, I take a class down at the Y, once a week. And it's like, oh, and that's medical Qigong? Like, yes. I said, well, it's like, is there meditation? No, it's just medical Qigong movements. And so what happened was we had medical Qigong for a little while. And then a whole lot of some groups came along and also decided that they were medical Qigong, but they weren't doing all of the 5, everything that we do, which is a form of healing. So then we had to kind of step away from calling it medical Qigong. I mean, Dr. Johnson's newest books call it Chinese energetic medicine. And he liked me calling it shamanic Chinese medicine. He said, yeah, that's also another really good name for what we do. So I had the stamp of approval. Qigong is the most powerful approach to understanding life force energy. I mean, it just has this amazing wealth of knowledge that's been passed down for thousands of years and is available to us. And it's a medicine wheel. And I'm sure there are others out there, maybe in the Amazon, where it's still been kept very pure, and the teachings, but it's generally not as accessible. So we can access this and teach it and bring it into a context that works in our world. Through practice, we can develop awareness of the movement of energy both inside and outside of the body. And this is happening when you're doing the Qigong practice with John, but we're also going to be doing it in a meditation and lots of meditations where we are bringing awareness of the movement of energy inside of the body. So we want to do that inside of our bodies and then outside of the body. So when we have to have that inside first. We really need to experience that inside of us. And then we start to become conscious of it, what's going on in other people, in other places. So the inner develops first, and then we develop the outer. In seminar 9, when I used to teach, but I'm going to be doing this in seminar 12, but because I teach it in Vancouver, there's a sea walk there where where we will walk along and feel all the different energies. So it's outside the body, but you're really aware of all the energetic vortexes, the underground streams, energies of just all the energies around you. And we strengthen our immune system and improve organ system function. So this is important for us. Heal and energize ourselves. And then once we have energized ourselves, we learn to be able to heal and energize others. We also create a very important container to do this in that keeps everything very, very safe. And so we are, very into this, creating this kind of a safety around everything. And how do we do all this energizing and healing? Well, we have breathing techniques, which we're going to be stepping into tomorrow. Movement, which you did today. Creative visualization, and spiritual intent. And the spiritual intent being one of our most important things of all. What is your intention here? So maybe your intention is, oh, I need to do my practice today. I have 20 minutes. So let's get my practice done. So if your spiritual intent is just to get your practice done, it's not a very high spiritual intent. So it's sometimes nice to take a breath at the beginning of a practice and think, well, what am I doing here? Okay, I want to connect with heaven and earth and the powers of the elements, the powers of the directions. I want to heal my body. I want to have better sleep, better digestion, whatever that is. It's our spiritual intent. We can improve our health, personal power, and learn to live in harmony with the universe because you're starting to work with the universe. You're bringing in the power of the earth, the power of the heavens. And so you're working with these powers, and these powers are becoming more a part of you, and you're becoming more aligned with the power, even just the postures. And so the sitting posture, so if you sit straight, you are more aligned with heaven and earth. The heavenly energy is allowed to come in through the crown, and the earthly energy is allowed to rise up your spine. And so all these things that we do, like through the Qigong is a lot about the physical alignment, and the physical alignment supports then the energetic and the spiritual alignment. And so this is the study of the great wisdom gathered for medical, martial, and spiritual development by the culture of ancient China. So it's been developed for a long time, and all of this works together. So if you're in the medical part, you're also learning the martial, which we could just call the physical aspect, and the spiritual. And the same with if you're doing martial, you also learn the medical and the spiritual. And if you're doing the spiritual, you also need to learn the whole thing. So they're sort of separated, and a person has one as a focus, but they all always integrate with each other. And so we're very fortunate to have, beyond fortunate, very blessed to have this amazing body of work passed down. So shamanic Chinese medicine uses special techniques to purge, tonify, and balance energy. John just did some purging and some tonifying with you. So that was really a focus on that, those two today. It's a safe and effective way to release toxic pathogens, trapped emotions, and other negative influences that can cause both physical and mental, emotional illness. And so, yes, we do this in a lot of ways, many tools. Understanding the basic concept of Qi. So we're working with Qi. Qi is life force energy. And it is the motion and aliveness that is within all things. It's the mass in the same way that smoke or gases have mass. And I always look at this like you go to the market and you get this amazing, fresh fruits or vegetables and maybe flowers. And it's just wonderful. And then you bring them home and you put things in the refrigerator. And then they, a few days later or a week later, it's not looking as alive. It's lost its chi. The chi is gone. I mean, so that's one way of looking at it. We notice when we go to a store or to a market, what has the most chi? We're generally drawn, or the flowers that we might get. We want to get them that have a lot of vitality, life force and vitality in them. So we look at things that way. We see it, and we don't know that we see it, but we do see it. It's like, oh, I want that one. That one appeals to me. So we're already have some consciousness around that, and it's like, well, that's going to go in the soup. we're gonna cut that up and cook the hell out of it. Okay, that's more of a soup item than a salad item, for example. So life comes when chi gathers. So it's a foundation of life. Life ends when chi disperses, or chi disperses at the end of life. And so when chi gathers, when life comes, and there's a mixture here of spirit and matter, connects us with the oneness and the wholeness of all existence. And chi is the bridge that stands between matter and spirit. And so people talk about, your life, like you have come in and your physical body is your vehicle. And you are consciousness, you are a spirit, you're a soul having a physical experience. So we talk about life this way. That's what a human being is, soul in a body. But how does that work? And so we talk about the bridge between the spirit, which is the consciousness, the actual consciousness, and matter, which is like that physicality, the meat part of the body, like, something goes between. And what goes between here is the chi. And it's the chi field, it's the energetic field. And it happens every time you breathe. So every time you breathe in, you are bringing consciousness into your body. We talk about oxygen. Oxygen, that's physical. Yes, we bring physical, this gas named oxygen into the body. That's very true. And then that goes into the heart, it goes into the lungs, and then the oxygenated part goes into the heart and is moved into every cell of the body. This oxygen, it's bright red. And then the carbon dioxide and the waste material is exhaled coming out through that same pathway. And so we have this in and out. So the chi is, so you could call it oxygen, but we're going to call that life force energy. And because that's really a better term for it, is life force, because it is the force of life. And so you could think of everything having its physical, energetic, and spiritual qualities. So the physical being oxygen, the energetic being life force and vitality. And then what's the spiritual level of that? Well, it is spirit. It is consciousness. It is the spirit coming into the body with the breath. That's why if you stop breathing, that consciousness can no longer stay in your body. It withdraws from the body. It leaves. Sometimes spirit leaves just for a little quick vacation, coming an out of body experience. And the person doesn't die, or the person goes to bed at night. And, the spirit might be off doing things, but the body's still there. It's still, working away everything it needs to do. And so, but the breath is still there. And so it's important with the breath is bringing life into the body. So the breath is very much chi, it's movement, it's vitality, and it bridges the spirit, the consciousness and the matter. So Qi is so important. And it also has the qualities of, it's mental and emotional. So Qi energy is mental and emotional. So thoughts, what we consider to be the lower thoughts, fearful thoughts, angry thoughts, worried thoughts, those are all part of that Qi level. And they get stuck with emotions, and then that creates blockages in our Qi level. And then we have very high thoughts. Spiritual intent would be a high thought. Loving thoughts, they would be more connected with spirit. Anyway, we get more into this. So the Qi forms pools that flows into rivers and streams of the body's meridian system. And so there's that, those lovely Alex Gray images there, which is very, very appropriate for our work. So that energy flowing through the pools of the body exists at the physical, energetic, and spiritual levels. So that's Qi. What is Gong? What does Gong mean? It means skill, practice, study, work, or cultivation. So Qigong means, it's also Gong at a certain point means doing something 100 times. So we call that a Gong too. And then there are certain practices we say, do a Gong. So you do 100, you do 100 days is often a Gong. So Qi is life force energy, Gong is skill. So Qi Gong is skillful practice of applying life force energy. That's one of your homework questions right there. What is Qigong? The term Qigong first appeared around 265 to 420 AD and can also be called Chinese energetic medicine. So this is a very spiffed up picture of an ancient silk scroll, and it shows all different Qigong movements. And there are some Chinese characters beside all of these, which were the prescriptions. So each one of these was a prescription, was a prescription for some condition. Okay. So we're just going to, now we're going to shift to talking about our 5 realms of Qi or energy, which is always interesting, but it's a part of the way we view life. So the mineral kingdom has the slowest vibration. And after a while, it combines with air and water to form soil and transforms into plant Qi. The plants live on that. So minerals can be dirt. They can be sand, that would be minerals, but they can also be gemstones, gold, silver, crystals. And so a mineral can be quite highly evolved and can carry a lot of qualities and consciousness. And so we like to look at our realms of energy, and the mineral, even though it's the slowest and, it doesn't have a lifespan that's very short. It would have a lifespan, but it'd be a lot longer than that human lifespan, or the turtles, or even a way longer than that the redwood tree or anything like that. So it is that slow witness to all of life. And so we honor the mineral kingdom. The plant kingdom has a slightly higher vibration, and it multiplies the energetic potential of the mineral kingdom. So it takes those minerals and uses them and expresses life in this more complex way. And you have everything from algae in this kingdom to to roses and lavender, to enormous trees, and to even very highly evolved trees that hold a lot of consciousness. And in seminar 3, we go out and make these connections with trees and plants, where we get into a dialogue with these plants and it's surprising and it's very powerful. And you actually can feel the power because we bring it into water, and you make drops with the infused water that comes from these plants. Anyway, plants are pretty amazing, and they also transform, and they are supporting the animal chi field, just as the minerals support the plant realm. Animal is a higher vibration, multiplies the energetic potential, maybe doesn't live as long as the plant kingdom. Some insects and things have incredibly short lifespans. Comes closer to the divine energy field expression in certain ways, transforms towards the human field. And so it is a higher vibration, but is algae actually algae? What is algae? Let's see, protozoas. Are they a higher life form than an amazing tree? And so all these things, there's not like a rule like this is better and this is they're different. These are quite different kingdoms, and they become closer to our energy field. They become closer to humans. If you have animals, you know that they are also here. And a lot of that seems to be that they're also learning their lessons, and they are on their growth paths, just as humans are. And humans are different. I think this is, the human field that stands between heaven and earth. And so humans go through the veil. We have to pass through the veil of forgetting. And so as human beings, we come to this earth and we don't remember who we are or where we came from, unless you're a very rare human being who somehow remembers that animals remember that. Animals know who they are. They know their world. They know that when they pass, that they go back to where they came from. Plants are very connected to the higher worlds. They are always in those worlds. Even the crystals, those things are always connected between the realms. It's humans who have come here and are disconnected. And so we are different. And so we have a great consciousness in a whale or in dolphins, or all sorts of animals have incredible consciousness, but they are also connected to their higher selves and to the oversouls of, they just know who they are in a very different way than we do. And so we're the ones who come here as like, duh. Like, what is this world? Who am I? I don't know who I am, where I come from, or where I'm going to. So human beings are different. And yet we are here in the advanced study course. We took on that, or that called that AP, advanced placement. Like, give us the biggest challenge, bring us here and erase our memories of who we are and what we're about. So there's definitely some divine dispensation for human beings. We are trying to learn, we are trying to become who we're meant to be. And for us, it's good to go and learn from nature, because nature remembers. the plants, the animals, the directions. They're all our teachers. And so, and plus we have those who have come before us who are also our teachers. And so we're very blessed to be in this world and to be receiving all that we have to receive here. Okay, and so we see ourselves here, yes, in this wonderful world that we are not separate from. And we're trying to find our way back into this consciousness of knowing who we are. So the divine is the highest vibrational expression, envelops all energetic fields and levels of existence, and allows man to attain divine consciousness, remembering who we are and what we're here for. But we look at all of these fields. I'm slow, so they have different resonances. Okay, and that's for tomorrow. Okay, so any questions? All right, the web that has no weaver. Yeah. Okay, so.
And I also want to add real quick, Wendy, I love the thing that I love about humans and all the beautiful ones that come before us, the mineral and the plants and the animals, is they're all here to really help us.
Yes, they are.
We really need them.
Yes.
They help us since we forgot everything to come into existence.
Yes, they and yes. So
that's why we're
I mean,
them.
I'll have to tell you something. Just reading today a little thing about like local news. There's an attack squirrel.
An attack squirrel?
There's an attack squirrel. Yeah, and people are like freaking out about it. It doesn't have rabies or anything. It's just, they aren't quite sure why this squirrel is attacking people, but somehow they feel like it lost its fear of people. Maybe it was getting fed or something by people, but it's had 5 attacks and people have ended up in the hospital. Animals really treat us well. They kind of look at us and go like, oh yeah, them. And we don't attack them for the most part, because you can just get a few squirrels together and they take down people. Or a few seagulls, it's like, So they recognize that, that we're humans and that we are here and that, we're really on a special journey.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to love all of nature for the support that we get. It's pretty amazing. Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Any comments or questions there? We're open for business here. Okay. That's okay. We are going to take a meditation journey then. It's time. Okay. Let me just take a moment to check in with my guides. Oh, they're excited. Okay. It's like they're welcoming you, and then we're going to get time to play with some things today. So that'll be nice. Okay. Oh, speaking of, do I share? So the guides are always the ones who are in charge of meditations. So it'll be my guides coming through and they love to take what we've been talking about and taking you to a different level of experience in this. So that's kind of the awesome thing that the guides do. So, and they are there wherever you are, working with you as we do this. Okay. Oh, I hit share, I believe. Yes, I did. Okay. Sound level, John? How is that?
It's very soft. Like,
Okay.
wait, no, I can hear it now. I'm sorry, it was just, the music started soft, but now I can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Great. Yep. And at the end, all the meditations that we have become cut out and made into nice audio recordings, which are put into Google Drive so that you can download them at home. Okay. Welcome and blessings to you all. We, the guides, are very happy, very joyous that you are joining this class. And when we say we, the guides, that is also your personal guides, for they are happy to have you on this journey. And we are all working together in a great harmony as we do. And setting a stage here, setting a foundation for all of you going forward. For it is a great blessing. It is a great blessing for you, and it is a great blessing for the world that you And so we thank you for this. So we'd have you take a lovely deep breath. Find a posture, if you can, that is supported by this deep breath. Good, and smiling, and relaxing. Breathing deeply. Good, and getting in touch with the beautiful golden light. This is a golden light coming from above you, a divine light, shining down, glowing down the top of your head and melting down over the top of your head, down the front of your body, melting down, bringing your awareness down the front of your body, smoothing down all the way to your feet. So in this way, your consciousness is touching the front of your body. And this golden light now pouring down over the back of the head and neck and shoulders and arms, touching these areas with your awareness and with this golden light, which can be a visualization or it can be kinesthetic sensation all the way down to your feet. Good, and again coming now to the top of your head and pausing here and looking up towards the heavens, giving a smile and inviting golden light now down through the crown, to pour in, come and to illuminate the left hemisphere of your brain. Feel that hemisphere of your brain becoming brighter. You can feel or you can see, and then coming to the right hemisphere of the brain and seeing that fill and moving your awareness, your consciousness inside of your head through the brain, and then moving your awareness from side to side, from left hemisphere to right, and back and forth to balance the hemispheres of your brain. Bringing your awareness down in the back to this area of the cerebellum. the reptilian brain. Moving your awareness through this area. Bringing your awareness to the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, and using your spiritual intent if you don't know exactly where that is inside of your cranial cavity. Just use your intent. Use your intent, thalamus, hypothalamus, brainstem. Good. And feeling as you do this golden light, like you are carrying it along as you move through the brain. And now moving to your eyes and inviting this golden light into your eyes. Through all of your optic nerves and visual cortex, which comes back into the brain. Golden light. This golden light is a healing light. It is beautiful. It is transformational. And then bringing your awareness, if you can, in both directions, out to your ears. Bringing the golden light to your ears and to your inner ears. The vestibular system. Healing of the hearing. And then into the nose. Golden light filling your nose and back into the sinus cavities. Breathing in the golden light here. Opening the sinuses. Your breath. Bringing your awareness now into your mouth, gums, teeth, and tongue. This golden light fill the mouth and then swallow it down. Let this golden light now swallow down through the throat. Coming down the throat, healing as it moves, coming into the thyroid gland at the base of the neck at the front. Bringing this golden light in to help heal and balance the thyroid. And then coming down, sliding down behind the breastbone. Coming down to your thymus gland. And inviting this golden light into the thymus gland. And just know that it's in the area in front of your heart, behind your breastbone. And coming back from there into your heart. Now bringing golden light, beautiful golden light into your heart. Welcoming it into your heart. Welcoming healing into your heart. Taking some breaths here. Good. And then smiling and feeling gratitude in your heart. And inviting the beautiful golden light to come into the lungs. Taking some breaths in the lungs as the lungs fill with this golden light. Bringing healing to the lungs. And feeling grateful. Have this golden light healing your lungs and then bringing your awareness down to the liver on the right side. Dropping your awareness into the liver. Letting this healing light now move through the liver. Smiling to the liver, loves healing. loves energy and loves movement of energy. The liver now feeling grateful. Coming across from the liver to the left side, underneath the rib cage to the spleen, and down below into the pancreas, which is more central in the body. But if you're not sure of the location, simply use your intent. That intent will bring the energies to the right place. I intend to bless my spleen and pancreas with golden light. Good, and feeling that energy. And the golden light, spleen and pancreas love this color. They love the golden light. It's their pure color. Good, and the spleen and pancreas feeling grateful now for this golden light, and then golden light moving into the kidneys. The kidneys receiving this blessing of light. Left and right kidneys on either side of the spine, at the waist, at the back. Filling with this golden light. The kidneys are always a little thirsty for more energy, so just giving them a little time here to receive this light. Very powerful and very healing for the kidneys. Good, and now we're going to thank the golden light from the kidneys, and then the golden light is going to move into the digestive system. Golden light beginning to move into the stomach. Help heal the digestion, improve the digestion. Moving through the stomach. I'm going to say hello to the gallbladder in the center of the liver area. Then come down through the bile duct into the small intestine. Moving through the small intestine. Center of the body, called the heart of the digestive system. And then moving into the colon, starting the lower right-hand corner, coming down and then moving to the right-hand corner and ascending, the ascending colon on the right, which John was working on with you, coming across the transverse colon to the left side and down the descending colon to the sigmoid colon and the rectum. And just taking a breath here and feeling this golden light fill the digestive system. Then inviting this golden light into the bladder. In the bladder, some wonderful golden light for healing. And then bringing the golden light into the reproductive organs, the sexual organs. Just taking a moment here to really allow the golden light to sink in. And being conscious now of the golden light, and it's like it has left a path through your body. Beautiful golden light. And then asking the golden light now to move into the blood, to the circulatory system. Begin to move this golden light through all of the cells of the body. Golden light sinking into now the bones and even the bone marrow. expanding out from there into the fascia, connective tissues, out into the tendons and ligaments, through the body, through the muscles, through the flesh, to the skin. Expanding outward, beyond the body, out into that first field of energy, which is close to the body, called the physical field. Out beyond that, into the energetic field. It goes out maybe 10 inches around your body. Emotional, mental field. Then glowing out into that beautiful spiritual field. Feeling yourself inside of a wonderful cocoon of golden light. Good. And then coming to your feet. Feeling your feet on the earth. Sending roots now down into the earth. We're going to connect into transpersonal points. We're going to drop down from the feet 10 inches. Connect into the transpersonal point of nature. All the plants, animals. Beneath that, to the elements. The building block 10 inches down. And then dropping down another 10 inches, connecting into the great consciousness of the earth itself, the spirit of the earth. Feeling that earth spirit. And bringing that earth spirit as you connect into now. The earth itself, the sands, the earth, the mountains, the minerals, the mineral kingdom of the earth. Feel that and feel the great consciousness and wisdom that is here of the earth. Great beauty and power of the earth. Great beingness. Feel how the earth watches over, how she watches over all of her children. Watches over every stone, every plant, every lake or river. It is all part of this great, loving, conscious, feminine being. Good. And from here, from this mineral kingdom, moving to the elements, coming back up to that second earthly transpersonal point, and connecting here with the elements. So you have connected with the earth, but here you're going to connect with fire, water, feeling these energies. And And many of those mineral building blocks are here. The power of fire, the fire of the earth, volcanoes, great beings, great powers, the waters, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes. All create the earth. Good. And then coming up to the first earthly transpersonal point and connecting here with nature, with all of nature, with the wood element, which would be all the forests and the plants. Feel that energy supporting you and the great consciousness that it has, great wisdom of the plants that know how to grow and have such beauty, such perfection. It has the greatest aesthetics. Creates an incredible world. It supports every human being. It supports all of the life on this planet. Connecting here to nature and to the animals, to the insects, to the fish, to the birds in the sky. All of the creatures, great and small, of this planet. Feel yourself connected to this kingdom, the animal kingdom. The wonder of that. And the great privilege of being upon this planet, upon this earth. This earth, these kingdoms, mineral, plant, animals. Good. And then opening to this great energy of the earth, its power, its healing, that you are a part of, you are not separate from. And inviting in this powerful earth energy, the healing, amazing aspects of this rising up through you, up through the channels, the body, heading up towards the heavens, lifting up towards the heavens and the earth, reaching out to the heavens through you. Imagine you have branches coming off of your shoulders, off of your head that reach towards the sky, the power of the heavens, reaching upward in this way. As they lift up, they come to the crown and lift up through the first heavenly transpersonal point, connecting to your higher self, to your knowing, your inner knowing of what is right and wrong, conscience. To the, again, 10 inches above and 10 inches, another 10 inches to your second heavenly transpersonal point. And connecting here to the pure lights, the light of the heavens coming down and breaking up into perfect colors. These colors representing perfect virtues, as if unconditional love is coming down and creating a beautiful spectrum, all of its qualities individually to be experienced. Good. So this is you, human, connecting towards the divine. These higher frequencies, and up now to that even higher frequency. Imagine you are branches like a tree reaching into the sky, into that third heavenly transpersonal point, that divine gateway of all that is. And saying yes and inviting in divine light now. All the planets and stars, the sun, the moon, the great divine consciousness now flowing down through you and around you, protecting you. Down, down into the earth. Again, breathing up from the earth, up into your branches in the sky. Extending the earth, loving the divine, the earth moving towards the divine through you. And then the divine moving down and loving the earth, that wonderful attraction that keeps the earth on its orbit around the sun. And your galaxy in the right place, and the earth in the right place in the solar system, all of this balances. The moon in its proper orbit, all of this happening. You are a part of that moves through you, and you're open to these flows, great flows of heaven and earth. Divine yang, heavenly, flowing down, the divine yin, earthly, flowing up, and you, the human, between these forces, opening to become balanced. Good. And now bringing your hands to your heart. Your heart is the seat of the soul. Feeling yourself balanced now between these great forces. And suspended in some way between these great forces. Smiling to yourself. For this is the human. You are this human, this balanced human. Good. Breathing deeply. Good. And letting your hands now slide down to the lower abdomen and breathe here. Letting everything come back and gather. All of your awareness that has been here and there, been in the earth, been in the sky now, accumulating, drawing it back in with your breath, back into the lower abdomen. Breathing up your back. Exhale down the front of the body, down to the perineum. Inhale up, back, down the front, and once more up the back. Exhale down the front. And now you're going to circle around your abdomen 9 times in each direction. 6 come from. And 9 in the other direction. Rub your hands together. Feel the chi Breathe it in at the eyes. Your eyes soak some of this in. Washing your face. Tapping over the head. Down, back, the head and neck. Down the arm, the back of the arm. A quick little tap here, bring you back. Especially when you are in these different time zones. I appreciate that. Coming down the chest, down the abdomen, circling around, coming up the right, down the left, around your waist, tap to your kidneys. And then just tap the outside of the leg, still sitting, all the way down, around your feet, and back up to the navel. And John, do we have some rooms open?
No, actually, I don't.
Oh.
I didn't know we were going to do that here. So.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll do them quickly. I think this is how many. This should work just fine. Okay. Okay, so. Okay, so we're just going to go to the rooms and you just have a very few minutes just to say hello to each other, meet each other. And okay, so just enjoy just a little bit about how you did with your meditation, and then we'll come back in for closing. Okay. Okay. All back. Oh, yeah, here's Robert. I thought he went to bed, but okay. So it's time we do our closings. Everyone wants to, we just, stand up and just seal the end of the day together. And we tend to do this. We like to sort of see everybody on the camera because we're joining together as this fellow journeyers on the path. Okay, so we're going to start by breathing up from the earth. Just like you did with John early this morning. Exhale, feel that earth energy coming in from nature, from the sky, smiling. And bringing this down through your physical body. So we're going to do a nice wash through at your physical level. But it's a wash with light, so it's both cleansing and rejuvenating. And again, bring up the earth, bring that, nature, the sky, and smiling and bringing this now down through your energy body. And letting that bring in beautiful, fresh vitality. All the way down through, and again, earth and nature and the heavens, and bringing this now down through the spiritual level. So a wonderful harmonizing and balancing of the spirit. All the way down, feet, and then bringing out your arms and pausing. And at this point, we're just feeling gratitude for all of life, for our earth, for our minerals, our plants, our animals, for our fellow humans, and for the divine, and bringing that into your heart. And then feeling gratitude for all of your classmates, for everyone who's on the journey, for journeying together. And then bringing that back into you, because you are on this journey, receiving that and bringing that back into your own heart, taking a moment and just feeling grateful to yourself for being here. And then shining your light. Just bringing that light of who you are into the world. And thank you for a beautiful
Thanks,
day.
everybody. Great day one.
We'll see you tomorrow.